Good evening, and welcome back to another edition of the Absolutely Women's Football Show. As you can see, we've got a party on the pod tonight, probably the most panellists we've ever had, and we can't wait to go through everything because it's been quite a chaotic week in the world of women's football. Of course, last couple of days of the transfer window, we've got a brand new cup competition and everything else in between. Thank you so much to everyone who's already in the chat already. Zach gets brownie points for being first in the chat this evening. Evening to Zach, evening to Emily. I've seen Graham, I've seen Emma. Evening to everyone. Evening to Emily as well. Yes, we're going to talk about Shillag. Don't you worry. It was fantastic to see her at the weekend. But yeah, thank you so much everyone, and for Simon popping in as well. Now. Kai, you've got a fan in the chat already, which is what we love to see. However, we do have some usual faces on the pod, but Duncan, brand new face. Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. Very pleased to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, it's an absolute pleasure for us as well, because, you know, we try and get fans on from as many different clubs as possible. So finally we have a Brighton perspective as well, which we will get into. Emily's asking the age-old question of where's Paul? Good question. No, Paul has a very exciting, important job during the day, so he will be with us. And you know what, Emily? You must be magic, because...
Say his name. Say his name.
I'm really freaked out. There's 6 of you all singing that. Good evening, everybody. I'm a little bit late.
Yeah, Duncan, if you didn't get it from that, it's a regular thing that we sing to Paul to make him appear on our screens. But
Joe Hendry reference.
6 of us. Oh, we love
a wrestling reference.
We do. In fact, the more unique and chaotic, the better reference on the show.
I'm flattered that Emily was asking as well.
I know.
I have at least one fan in the world of women's football.
Hey, people do miss you when you're not here, Paul. People do miss you indeed. We all do, anyway.
One more RTL.
Hello,
I just heard the end of that.
Hi, Paul.
Right then, so what we're going to do tonight, because of course we have so many of us, so if we did our usual match by match, we will still be here at midnight. So what we're going to do, we've broken, hey, promise I haven't been drinking. We've broken it down into different categories tonight. We're going to talk about our main WSL results, transfer news. We're going to drip it all in together, and then we'll shift into our WSL2 section as usual, with a bit about the brand new Champions Cup in between. So do stay tuned, and we'll get through as much as we possibly can. However, before the chaos starts, we did just want to take a moment to pay our respects to Rado Vidosic, who sadly passed away this week, who was head of coaching for women and girls at Brighton, and of course his son Dario, we all know, who is head coach for Brighton. Duncan, as our representative for the evening, is there anything you'd like to say about that impact, or any words that have been going around in the community today or this week?
Yeah, I guess I would just echo what you said there. Really, it's us sort of sending our thoughts, across down under at the moment, where Dario is with his family. We have his back 100%. We'll continue to root for the team and pull for the team to score as many points as we can whilst he's away. And when the time is right for him to come back, that, we'll welcome him with open arms. I think Rado had been here a relatively short period of time, but he was utterly respected by all. He was a bit of a pioneer, I think, of the women's game in Australia, and he managed women's teams and men's teams. Occasionally, the men's team wouldn't be performing, and they'd drag him back from the women's team to come and coach them. So he was fantastically well respected, as I say, and thoughts out to the Vidosic family.
Yeah, lovely said. Thank you. And like you said, a definite game changer, especially in the history of women's and men's football. So yeah, we just wanted to start the show and make sure that was our positive thoughts been sent first. Thank you. Right then, so let's get on with the drama from the weekend. Now, as we've got an Arsenal fan and a Chelsea fan on the panel this evening, it feels only right that we kick off with the London derby that was at Stamford Bridge. However, only one of you is going to be happy to talk about it. So, Kai, so Kai, I tell you what, we'll come to you first because this was, the highly anticipated one of the weekend. It was on the Saturday midday slot for us here, and it's kind of when you've got that Saturday match, usually it's like the statement one, isn't it, of the weekend at Stamford Bridge. What do you think was missing? What kind of stood out for you from your perspective?
For me, I think it just everything just started wrong right from the team selection. I know it's pretty common to criticize, when things go wrong, to just start focusing on what the manager got wrong. But in this case, we played the exact same system against Manchester City midweek, and we were lucky to win that game, to say the least, because Manchester City had 5 big chances, all of which they missed. So the fact that Sonia didn't particularly change anything, of course, there were like personal changes, but not really changes in the system, was extremely disappointing to see. And in fact, I feel like the changes that she actually made somehow made the performance even worse, because we know that Arsenal have one of the most technical midfields in the WSL. And if you're going to set up against that midfield with 2 midfielders in Erin Cuthbert and Vika Kaptein, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. Every time we've played Arsenal, when you play Arsenal, unless you're sitting a bit deep, you are going to have to win your midfield battles. That's what it's going to come down to. And for me in this game, the balance was off. Couldn't control the game at all. Maybe we looked okay for about 15 minutes in the first half, like the latter 15 minutes of the first half. But beyond that, there was absolutely no control over the game. It was just Sam Kerr was in this island of her own. I saw a pass map after the game. I think Yash Thakur had put it up, and it, like Sam Kerr just was in an island of her own, and you had Alyssa Thompson who was just running around like a headless chicken. Our press was I mean, and honestly, it's a bit of a theme these days. Her work rate's incredible, but that doesn't mean you get a really good young left winger to just run up and down the pitch doing nothing, but yeah, I mean, and the choice of playing Guru Wrighton in the 10, it was just bizarre, because like Chelsea's press was, I don't even know if it was a press. It was just Guru, Alyssa, and Sam Kerr just standing in one line, not applying any kind of pressure. And Chelsea did not have enough bodies in the midfield to actually cut off Arsenal from progressing the ball. So it was, I mean, if that was supposed to be like a mid-block, it was utterly shambolic, in terms of, I mean, you can't call it a mid-block. That was just a disaster. And, for if you need to be playing that kind of system, at least, all season we've seen Sonia Bompastor preferring Vika Kaptein as a 10 over many other players. And suddenly Vika Kaptein is playing in the midfield alongside Erin Cuthbert. The biggest thing that Vika Kaptein offers is her ability to press. She is very energetic, and you kind of nullify that, and you put Gura Wrighton in the 10, who, to be fair, doesn't have the legs anymore, possibly to do the work. And it was just I mean, I could go on for days. This is like the third time I'm talking about this on YouTube.
But it was so strange because Adam, from your perspective, obviously great, because Arsenal have been, struggling for goals recently.
Yes.
Yeah. Glad to agree with that one.
Not so much tonight, but yes.
Hey,
yeah,
we'll get
spoilers.
to it. Don't you worry.
We'll get there. But just...
yeah, if you didn't watch earlier tonight, don't you worry, we're going to cover it. But yeah, it was strange because, like Kai said, it wasn't like the setup just wasn't quite right and nothing was quite clicking. And we used to Chelsea being, these mentality monsters that they're being labelled as, but actually Arsenal were able to control the majority of that game. So from your perspective, take it away. How was Saturday?
Well, again, I'm maybe trampling on stuff that we may cover in the future, but obviously Arsenal had come into this game on the back of a bad defeat, shall we say, in the cup. We are one cup down, and that was a game where for most of the game we dominated possession, we had lots of chances, and we didn't score any of them, and then we got sucker punched. And so coming into the Stamford Bridge game, the lineup comes out and we can field barely anyone because of injuries and Olivia Smith getting suspended. So it's just basically the same. It's the same two wingers. We're forced to play Russo and Blackstone up front, and we were sort of thinking, oh crikey, because last season it was quite a nip and tuck game, and then Chelsea just had so much more firepower on the bench, and they ended up winning. And so we're coming in here with basically a starting 11, and the only attacking sub I think we had available was Victoria Pelova, and Chelsea have a wealth of options at their disposal, and we're thinking, crikey, we've got to try and get through this. And we should say, going away to Chelsea, when you look at the calendar, that's usually mentally for me, it's always 0. We don't get anything at Chelsea. We never get anything away at Chelsea. It just doesn't happen. Not since 2018.
It's about 2018, wasn't it? Since
and that was the if you're looking at statistics and looking at the outlier result, a 5-0 win at Kingsmeadow is the WSL definition of an outlier. So I wasn't going into this with much hope, and watching that first half, I was thinking, well, we're actually looking very good. We're playing quite well. I think Russo had a shot cleared off the line in the first few seconds. We were getting chances, but again, I'm looking at thinking, well, this is exactly what I saw the other night against Manchester United, that we're dominating play. We're really high intensity, pushing up. Our press was so good on Chelsea. It was really bizarre to see because, and Kai referenced it, the midfield balance that Chelsea had was they just didn't have one. And it's really, really strange because I remember those big contests with Emma Hayes at Chelsea, and it was like a big physical wrestling at the midfield because they just dominate the midfield. The physicality, the play, and just we couldn't. I remember the nightmare game for us was when we lost 4-1 at Meadow Park to Chelsea, and we just couldn't get out of our own half because Chelsea just absolutely smothered us. And this was like we'd done a Nuno reverse. But we hadn't scored. Well, half time at least, we haven't scored a goal, and we hadn't, as no Arsenal player until this game, had actually scored a goal at Stamford Bridge. Our only goal was an own goal. In fact, no Arsenal player has scored away at Chelsea in the WSL since Danielle van der Donk back in 2019. So I was watching an Arsenal. Yeah, I know. So I'm watching an Arsenal team that just does not know how to score at Stamford Bridge, and I did wonder if that affects them mentally or was affecting them mentally. And it was a really strange one. And it went into half time, and I thought, okay, well, we've done all right. I would say Chelsea I think the Chelsea's best chances came from set pieces. There were a few set pieces coming in, and I thought, oof, because I've lost a headed one off the line. I thought if Chelsea were going to score, it would be from a corner. Alicia Thompson's pace looked very good on the counter down the wings. Lotte just about was able to sort of rein her in because there was a few times I thought she could burst clear because, my word, she's fast. But I mean, she scored against us at Emirates Stadium for something similar. So, it was the problem was if it hadn't been what happened midweek, I would have gone in at half time thinking, this is brilliant, we're on top of them, we're going to score. But that apprehension of what happened against Manchester United when we didn't do that, despite starting fast and getting a chance and not taking them, meant I still didn't feel that we were going to win that game. In fact, for most of that game, until I would say about what happened second half, I thought that it was probably going to go as it normally does.
And because a lot of people in the media recently have been talking about Beth Mead, and is she going to leave at the end of the season? Is she past it? And you just think the passion when she scored, how she reacted, it's like that's the Beth Mead we all know is in there. And whatever's going on with certain players, they just need that something, don't they? So do you think for her getting that goal is going to push her on?
Well, we should just make it clear. 80% of the time, Beth Mead scores every time against Chelsea. That is kind of her team, her clutch team. If there's a team she's going to score against, it's Chelsea. So she always turns up for those games. I think it was in the news. I think it was on Sky Sports News. They said, because there was a bid in the summer that LCL had made a bid for Beth Mead, and I think Sky said that Arsenal had actually accepted the bid, and Beth Mead said, "No, I want to stay at Arsenal." So she stayed at Arsenal. Now, it cannot be denied that Beth Mead loves Arsenal to bits, and we as fans love Beth Mead, and she's an amazing player. She was when I first probably started following the Arsenal team. Beth Mead was my favourite player. I had a name on the back of my shirt, and I loved that she had an amazing Euros in England, and it was fantastic. I think this was probably her best game of the season. I think it's fair to say it's her first WSL goal of the season, which
her first one.
First WSL goal of the season. Yeah, I know, but she's had a few assists and she scored a bit in Europe as well. But this was her first WSL goal of the season, and in my back of my head, I'm thinking she's a brilliant player, but I remember what she was like in 2022 before her ACL, when she was quite frankly the best. Well, if Ballon d'Or is anything to go by, she was the second best player in the world behind Alexia Putellas. She was the best player at the Euros. She was that good. But can she still be that player now, having gone through the injury and come back through? Can she still be at that high level in every single game and not just against Chelsea? I don't know. And if it is the end of a contract at the end of the summer, Arsenal got a very interesting decision to make on that one. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes, because I can definitely see the case of both sides. I think she's a talented winger, and I think if we kept her on for another year, another 2 years, however it is, I think she'll be a good asset to the team. However, as I've long said, I think that the attacking wingers area is an area that could do with a lot of rejuvenation. To flip on the other side, Caitlin Ford is a player I would also look at. I didn't think I had a great midweek game, and to be honest, didn't really jump out at me at Stamford Bridge. So there's a lot of stuff that can happen. But I think it's good game for me. I think it was a goal and an assist. She set up the Mariota for the second, and got player of the match by the end of it, and rightly so. And also, statistically, it was on the anniversary of when she signed for Arsenal way back in 2017. I was on the 20th.
Oh, there we go.
Which the admin picked up. Yeah, 7 years on.
I love that. And
9 years on.
Yeah. It's finally, it's finally clicking once again, because we've said before, haven't we? Especially after injury, it's very hit and miss whether you can get that player back that you once were, and you've got to evolve into a different form of that player, haven't you? I do just want to shout out Paula Knights in the chat, who distracted a few of us. First of all, Duncan never shiv.
Correct.
And as a barber, it showcases every stage of beard growth. So thank you.
We should just put ourselves in order, shouldn't we?
Yes.
It's like, can I kind of contribute? Can I?
Does it
Get some
go
sticky on
me,
bits and put
Adam, Danny, Duncan? Is that?
It's gonna yes, because it's Paul, me. Yeah. Oh, don't know. Danny, Paul, me. Duncan's definitely on top. I don't know who's behind.
I'll take it.
Duncan wins, hands down.
Yeah.
I'll try really hard, okay, and I'll come back and I'll I'll come back into it. Now, because of course this win, not only incredible, but also brings. I do have the table. I don't know how it's going to rearrange us. Bear with. Hey, we're all tiny. It does bring Arsenal within 1 point of Chelsea. Kai, does that make you a little bit worried? How bunched up that top part of the table is?
Yeah, it's definitely worrying. But there are a lot of matches to go. I mean, with the quality that Chelsea have, Chelsea should at least finish in the top 3. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely worrying for sure. Yeah, don't have much else to say about it, because I feel like Chelsea are gonna play Manchester City this weekend, and that could change things around drastically for a couple of weeks at least if Chelsea lose, which I am starting to feel like is a very, very real possibility, because Manchester City. I mean, just a quick word on Manchester City, which is, they're doing what Chelsea do every single season, which is grind out wins. And that win against London City Lionesses was like a very, very clear example of that. A late winner from an elite striker. It's kind of what Chelsea have been doing for years. So I think, it's definitely a scary prospect going to Manchester City. But hopefully with the quality that Chelsea have, unless things completely fall apart, hopefully a top 3 finish should happen. And hey, you never know, we might win the Champions League. There's always that.
Well, exactly. Stuff them
one
on the
can
league. Hey,
hope,
want to
Adam.
be champions.
I do wonder if this summer we'll
Stranger
see-
things have happened.
I mean, we won
Yeah,
the Champions League. I never saw that coming.
You win the Champions League. You never mention it, Adam. Arsenal fans.
No. Well, no, not just won it. Won it twice.
Yeah.
Hey.
Have you ever heard of winning with grace as well as losing?
No, Grace wasn't on our team for that particular final. So.
Very good. Very good.
Could I just why one contribution to this game is can we get half and half scarves in the bin, please?
Yes.
And half shirts.
The shirts as well.
I thought they were
shirts.
Barcelona shirts. I thought I just that was
That's unbelievable.
That was
Yeah.
Also, did you see that in the game? I mean, there's been a conversation about away fans at the home end, and there's a person who got hurt. Somebody hurled a bottle at her or something, which is I mean, honestly, shocking behavior. But it did look quite painful.
Yeah, I heard about that because it was a bottle was thrown, wasn't it? And you just think we're still at that point where, well, especially with Arsenal Chelsea, because there is so much rivalry there, as much as it is still friendly banter. We haven't, taken a lot of it in from the men's game yet, but I think for games like this, you do need a home end, an away end, and then a mixed end.
Yeah,
and then that should be it.
Problem is Chelsea. I think there was a post on social media. Someone put Chelsea saying, "Oh no, but we encourage the intermixing. We don't want to go. We want fans of rival fans for other teams to sit together, and that's part of what's how great wins football." And it's like, no, I want that. I want that zone, which is a safe space purely for Arsenal fans. That zone, safe space for fans. There is a problem with Arsenal. It's not a problem with Arsenal as such, but there is a problem with the away allocations. I find, maybe not Chelsea, but certainly with other teams where the allocation is inadequate for the demand.
Yes.
Arsenal bring a lot of fans on away days. I can't comment for other teams, but certainly I get the impression they bring maybe a number greater than a lot of other away travelling supports. And then we'll go to, let's say, the Manchester City Academy Stadium, and we'll get a couple of hundred seats. And there's more Arsenal fans wanting to go, and so naturally they want to buy tickets that are elsewhere in the stadium. Now, for me, because some people take offence to this because they say, "Oh, you're taking tickets out of the pockets of home fans," but then when the home stadium doesn't sell out at all and there's still tickets left, it's a hard thing to sort of go with. But my feeling is always, if you are doing that, if you're on a away fan and you're buying a ticket home end, respect the situation. Don't go flashing your colours everywhere. Just sit respectively. Bite your tongue. Don't cheer loudly when your team scores, because then you're just poking the lion. You just sit there, observe, and then leave. But it's not. We're going to get this wrong a lot because we are growing. We're trying to build the cart as the horse is running down the hill. So we're trying to get this going, but we're going to make a lot of mistakes. And unfortunately, I think Chelsea maybe need to wise up a bit and think we're not in 2019, 2017, 2015 anymore. We're in 2026. Rivalries are growing. It is probably the most, I don't want to say hate exactly, but it's certainly the most hottest of fixtures because of the history between the two, because of Arsenal's history and Chelsea's present. There's a lot more feeling behind that, combined with the London derby, and I think that's maybe sort of missed the mark and missed the tone on that one.
I think you've also got the problem. You've got two sets of fans who, at this point, because they're the largest fan bases, and because they have a lot of people coming into them, and there is that element within them that seems far more than many of the teams of just slightly nasty, not hooligan-y, but
edgier fans. But that's a problem. The bigger the demographic, the higher proportion there is going to be of idiots. It's just how the ratio works itself out, unfortunately. That should never be used to tar the entire group with the same brush. It's just an inevitability that the more guests we have on a podcast, the more likely someone's going to be an idiot on here. So I will happily step on that. And usually it's me. So that's how it goes, unfortunately.
It is good that we're having this conversation, and there are still people who feel comfortable saying, "Yeah, you can have a mixed end." But I do think, like you say, Adam, that there are still people who haven't quite worked out that if you go and sit in the home end of a rival at women's football, it's not Glastonbury.
No, it's not. No. Well, try telling that to the WSL and whoever it is that runs the. It's not a tennis contest.
You'd never get.
I think what's interesting. Oh, sorry, Paul. Go for it.
No, I do think this is where you need more of an influx of men's football fans, because you would never get people who've grown up on men's football. And I think the push for away ends probably a lot is people who are used to men's football, because you would never get people. I went to watch Villa the other week and I felt weird walking into the home end, even though I was there to support Villa, in theory. So
I thought you were saying you just felt weird having to support Villa. I thought that not as the.
well, yeah, that too.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah.
As a proud Coventry City fan, that too.
Yeah.
Needs must, because Coventry City don't have a team. If Doug King pulls his finger out and buys back Rugby Borough, and there is actually a women's team for Coventry City, then
we'll go with United.
It's on again. But until then, I'll adopt Villa as through necessity. But like you say,
good.
I don't think any of us would. All of us with a background in men's football, I don't think any of us would ever be silly enough to go to say Brighton Palace and go, I'll sit in the Holmesdale end.
No.
Brighton fan, or sit in the Shed end as an Arsenal fan, or whatever else, or go and sit in the Peterborough home end as a Nottingham fan, as a Northampton fan. It's just like, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
No, Kai, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say the actual phrase that they used was family-friendly atmosphere in that post. And it's so interesting because
Mr. Tumble
it's extremely patronizing, and they specifically mentioned WSL, FA Cup, and League Cup because obviously, apparently in the Chelsea Barcelona game, they turned away a lot of fans who were wearing Barcelona kits. So
yeah, they did.
It's I mean, it's clearly a choice that the club are making. I honestly wish they would just do what Adam said. Just expand the away fans for certain games, and obviously to some extent because you also don't want away fans to outnumber home fans.
Well, I was going to say, I was just on that one. I did Crystal Palace away in the Sub Cup, and I'm pretty sure 3 of the 4 stands at the Sutton Stadium were Arsenal fans. It was just how it was a bit. It does get a bit awkward sometimes, and I say to myself, I wish if you're worried about away fans in the home end, get your team to sell the tickets to the home fans, because if all the home fans buy their tickets, we can't steal any of them, and then we'll get a sold-out stadium and a brilliant atmosphere. So it's an argument as old as time, and people have opinions on it. But unfortunately, I mean, I don't know what the attendance was on this the Chelsea game in the end. I don't know if I actually recorded it, but
I
don't know if it was a sellout or not.
30,545.
Yeah. I don't know if that is. Which is a good crowd for but I don't know how that compares to the capacity of Stamford Bridge, but it is
5,000 less. I think
39
Stamford
plus,
Bridge near
like,
that's okay. So that's a pretty good haul. That's a pretty good haul, all things considered.
Stamford Bridge is one of the smaller Premier League grounds, isn't it? Weirdly,
one of the bigger WSL grounds.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because like in Villa Park, Villa never sell out, so the home fans are more than welcome to go, and they've got their away section. People can move and they can all sit there. And I think what United fans were saying as well, they used to be able to move around LSV and just sit where they wanted and bring friends and all that, but you can't do that anymore. It's all ticketed, and I just think it's a strange one, isn't it? Because when you know the ground and that's the done thing, to then change it, and I get why they might be doing it, but it's we're in that period of growth, like you said, aren't we?
You also want to be able to concentrate the fans into a tighter group, because that will provide a better noise and have them spread sparsely about the stadium. So there is an element of improving atmosphere, but it always feels a bit bad because I think it's great that Villa play their games at Villa Park. I think that's absolutely the right thing to do, but it's always feel bad when you watch TV and you just see whole stands of empty seats, and just think, I wish Villa fans they could get that stadium rocking, because when Villa Park is full, it's cracking. You watch it on the men's when they're in the Champions League, it's brilliant. So I'd love that for the women's team at some point, and hopefully it will happen.
Yeah, me too. I mean, Maggie Murphy, we've got Maggie Murphy now. She's starting to put things in place, and they've actually got things going on match days now, which is really good. So hopefully that is now changing for the better. I do just want to shout this out though. Why offer pre-booked parking for the women's game when you let the men's away fans park in the car park and then say, sorry, we don't have any spaces left?
Oh, so I could get caught out by this. But it's just a Villa Park. I got tripped by this Leicester City.
Yeah.
I didn't realise this was a thing. So when I went to Leicester City away this season, I forgot to book my parking, and then got to stage and realised, I should have actually booked on an app, and I had to park on the other side of the city and then walk in. So yeah, there needs to be a dedicated away parking area, and then a main parking area, and then because I went to Villa Park, I was able to park my car, but it was in a gravel pit near a railway line. I don't know. You probably know exactly where that. You know, yeah.
I know exactly where that is.
but when I drove there, I drove to where I thought the entrance was, and the steward said, "Oh no, you have to go around here and go to this other gate." So I drove to the other gate, went to a steward, and goes, "Oh no, you don't park here. You actually go to some." I think I had to go to 3 separate stewards until I found where it was. It was absolutely crazy, but a great day out.
Yeah, it doesn't help that the parking, and I know Emma in the chat will know better than me, but I'm sure you've got to get there 2 hours beforehand, because then they close the roads for the match.
Yes.
So then if you've got official parking, you can only get there in a certain time slot. So that's why we park at the Aston Inn, which is around the corner. Which I think is where you're probably thinking of.
Yeah, but the problem was, I think it wasn't a problem. But the problem is on that day, that was the day when there's a breakdown on the M1, and the Arsenal team coach was forced to pull over into the hard shoulder, and all the players were doing warm-ups on the hard shoulder, so that everyone was delayed, so it all fell apart. You know, nobody could get there 2 hours early. Anyway,
so this was a week after Sockgate, right?
We seem to have gone wildly off topic.
Yeah.
I still think Villa, if you look at the paintings in the supposed family stand in Villa, they're definitely going for a particular demographic. Because I'm sorry, those mascots are not child friendly. the way those
they're
people
the new ones. They've redesigned
the nuance on the expressions on those mascot faces. It's very, hey, we saw you across the bar and like your vibe.
I can't comment. I haven't seen those yet. Can I just say we were talking, just to rein it back to what we were trying to talk about, which was Chelsea Arsenal. We did look at the table. I mean, I thought if we'd lost that game, we'd be in major issues from a European perspective. As it is, we are only to the point behind Chelsea, but I think Manchester United and Spurs are gonna make this a really good European race now. It's not last season, it was pretty much the top 3 and which order they were in, because Manchester City completely nosedived. We've got 4 teams now, because I think sorry, Kai, I think Manchester City are going to win the league this season. I think that is going to happen. And it's definitely if they win at the Etihad. I mean, if Chelsea win there, it makes it a bit more interesting. But I just think draw or win, Man City will run away with it. But I think there's a real danger if Chelsea lose it, they could get dragged in. Arsenal won't play this weekend. They have another tournament on, so there will be a game. Arsenal will drop down the table, but we'll have a game in hand, which I think should be at home to Leicester City. So there's another little wrinkle there. But certainly, if you look at 2nd to 5th, sorry, Duncan, for excluding Brighton. I don't think they're going to better catch up.
That's okay.
I think that 4, because Arsenal have now played Chelsea, Man United, so they've only got Spurs in that little bubble to go. That's going to be very interesting now at the end of the season. And I don't think because we've been top 3ing for donkey's years. I think there's a real chance we could drop out. So yeah, I think this is going to be a very interesting race between now and the end of the season. That one, and us beating Chelsea, it's our first big away win. First big win against a top team this season. That could be massive for us if we actually use it as a launch pad to get a run of form together, because it would be so Arsenal if we then go and lose to Man City at home in our next league game, and then it's all undone.
Yeah, and it's, just looking at the points there, and Duncan will come to you to talk about Friday night under the lights versus Everton, because, again, looking at the points there, which was a very nice segue. Thank you, Adam. There's that top 5, like we were talking about, and then there's that little middle gap of Brighton, Villa, London City, and then it drops away again to that relegation battle. So, for you, Friday night, we've said it probably wasn't the most exciting of games, shall we say? But from your perspective, with everything considered, a win's a win, right?
Yeah, I think it had to be somewhat of a pragmatic approach. It's sort of quite well documented that we're very light in the forwards department. We have made 1 signing so far this transfer window, but having finished their season, I think in November, they obviously feel she needs a little bit longer to sort of bed in and get match fit and stuff. So I think it was kind of one of those ones where they might not have wanted to be quite as tight as it was, but they just wanted to come home with the 3 points, and I think that was kind of reflected in the game, to be honest with you. So yeah.
Yeah, it's because you said you made the journey, travelled up, and we talked off air, didn't we, about that dedication, how hard it is for away fans to travel that distance. So it's ultimately for Jankovic to get that win just before half time, probably like, whew, big sigh of relief, because I don't know if anyone wants to jump in, or again, Duncan, if you want to have a look, but Everton just were starting to get quite worrying at the minute, and they haven't really. They've made a few signings, have recalled people from loan, but they've also lost a few signings as well. So, Duncan, how did they? Because they had their chances as well, didn't they? How do you think the season's going to go for Everton? From what you saw,
yeah, I mean, I would like them to stay up because they're a sort of grand old club. Don't have anything against them, and I have to say that the fans. I mean, in general, the WSL fans are impeccable. Particularly welcoming away support and stuff. But I don't know. There's something about. We went to Walton Hall last year, and we were at Goodison this year, and just everyone is so helpful, so friendly, willing to have a chat, willing to listen to any issues and things like that. So. I must admit, as a supporters group and as an away sort of travelling fan base, we do have a bit of a soft spot for Everton. I think in the grand scheme of things, they probably will just about stay safe. I don't think they'll finish bottom, but I do think they are very much in that, you look at that table and it is very much in thirds. There's kind of the teams that beat everyone else, the teams that beat everyone below them, and the team that sort of scrap around at the bottom. Brighton are fortunate enough to kind of be in that middle group at the moment, so long may that continue. I mean, primarily their outball, their attack mainly revolved around Tony Payne and being very, very fast. They didn't really fashion that many chances in terms of like shots on target. In fact, although they had a similar amount of shots, Brighton actually had 5 shots on target to Everton's 2. It was more she put the ball in really dangerous positions, and like Brighton, they haven't really got the striker at the moment to be on the end of those balls into the box. Obviously, Katja Snois has been injured. I don't think she's out long term, but she's one of those players who always seems to get a goal against us for some reason. And the situation with Kelly Gargo, and it's sort of whether it's mutual not playing, or they've said we don't want you to play, or she said I'm not playing. I'm not quite sure, but one way or another, she obviously wasn't in the squad. So that that probably helped us, I would say. But yeah, they were decent enough defensively. We've played them twice this season. I think that might be the first team we've played twice this season. I beat them both times 1-0, and they've both been quite tight affairs. So I do think they'll have enough to kind of stay above last place, because obviously we know this season it's only last place that are even going to have a threat of going down, and that's only if they can't beat the third place in the WSL2. So I think they'll be fine. I hope they'll be fine, but obviously if you're in and around that area at this time of the season, a couple of wins and you can go from 8th, 9th to 11th pretty quickly. So we'll see.
I think for Everton, it's the fact the fans are turned now, isn't it? As well, they can't win at home.
I was going to say, Mystic Danny. I was just about to say, Danny, the fans were booing at the end of the game.
Yeah, they
were. So yeah, do you think maybe time is running out for Sorensen?
For our Bry, Chloe's turned, ain't she, as well? She's been back and forth all season.
Chloe's been turned a while, yeah.
Chloe's successful in the chair shot now, which she's gone full.
Yeah.
Standing behind Brian with a chair at a press conference.
But no, they looked toothless up front, to be honest, Everton on Friday. They had that one chance, didn't they, when Ndozi kicked it straight to Tony Payne, and it looked like she had a half-open goal for a minute, and she didn't follow it up. They had maybe one or two chances in the second half, but when you haven't got a goal scorer, when your fans are turning on you, it's a really difficult position to be in. And I feel like they're in big trouble. I do think they're in in trouble or going down. I don't know what needs to change. Chloe would probably be in a better position to tell us what needs to change. But if you can't win at home, you haven't got goal scorers. It's not a good time, is it?
It's hard.
She's full on the Bry out train, Chloe, isn't she?
She's fully gone, is she? Well, I have a lot of
fully gone.
I do feel very sorry for Everton because they've done the right thing. Is that they've made Goodison Park their main home for the women's team. It's absolutely it's the right plan. The problem is that they have they've done it cold turkey. What Arsenal did with their Emirates thing is they slowly accelerated up the amount of games that we played at Emirates Stadium, so the team got used to playing at Emirates Stadium. So, as weird as it sounds, it makes playing Emirates Stadium normal to the team. Just as a side note, and sorry to bring this up again, Paul, when we won the first Champions League, we were offered to play the game at Emirates Stadium, and the players specifically said, no, we're not used to playing there. We're used to playing at Meadow Park. It give us an advantage. And, history was made. But the thing is, the danger is you've now seen Everton. I think the only games they ever played at what was Goodison Park when they were at Walthall Park was like the derby, wasn't it? The Merseyside derby. And a one-off game.
A few.
Yeah, it didn't. So where Arsenal have been ramping up their games, I think it was like 8 last season or something, and now we're fully committed. Everton have gone in cold turkey, gone right, all your games, have fun, and it's just clear they just have not there. It's like they're wearing the Wellington boots the wrong way around. They're just not used to it because their home has been for the last few years Walton Hall Park. So I do feel sorry for that. In terms of will Everton stay up? Just remember, Everton have been relegated before in 2014. They have dropped through the trapdoor in the WSL, so no team is too big to drop through. Liverpool have done it. More than once. Maybe no, we have done it once, but we'll likely do it again. So I do have a lot of sympathy for that. I do feel sorry for Brian. I do fear he might be a manager that is better when he has not got a full deck of cards to play with. I think he's probably more a crisis manager than a good manager. We see him do great stuff when all their team were injured and they were trying to scrap around for results, and they got that back to the wall and digging in, finding results.
Yes.
But now he's got all the options available to him. It's not as good. Saying that, they have actually beaten Chelsea this season, although so have we. So maybe that kind of diminishes the if we can do it. Sorry, Kai, but
I was going to say kick Kai when they're down.
But saying that, I think it's only 2 games they've won. They won the opening game. That game at Anfield feels a long, long time ago, isn't it? It's 2 wins.
Yeah, 2 wins.
Liverpool. And I think that was the mistake. They should have asked to move their home games to Anfield. If they'd asked to have Anfield as their home ground, they would have been laughing. I feel really sorry for good. I just hope Everton could just get through the season and sort it all out. Maybe Brian's been there for quite a while now. Maybe now they've got good, strong ownership in. They've got some money in there. They can invest in players. They can sort of build the team properly and not have the academy and a few 13 regulars. Maybe it just needs a fresh look in the new season and a full review. And maybe it's somebody else. Which is shake. I think Brian's a good coach. I think he's a good guy, but maybe he's just been there one season too many, and it needs a fresh impetus, perhaps.
If Everton do sack Brian Sorensen, and most of the chat will know where I'm going with this, will they turn to
here we go,
an ex-Everton player potentially as a replacement?
Who? Wayne Rooney?
Big Phil Neville. Come on, get him in there.
Him. I'm liking. Oh God.
I love the way as soon as Danny said ex-Everton player. Duncan's excuse because he's never been on before, but the other 4 of us just went, oh, we know where this is going.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I don't think of him as an Everton. I think of him as a Manchester United reject. I don't think of him as a failed England manager as well.
I think of him as a. No, we can't finish that one.
No, honestly, Anyway, moving on.
Who got the talent in the Neville Health?
Job does come up. Danny's got his number to ring him. Get him involved.
As soon as there's a managerial vacancy, is on my case.
This must be the most popular corner of the women's football internet for Phil Neville. Like, seriously.
What? It's the only corner.
It's a strange niche, isn't it? Strange crossover.
Because just in the chat, there's loads of people going, bring back Phil.
Oh, please, no.
Phil Neville definitely is someone who would Google his name as well, isn't he? And it'd be finding it.
Oh, no, I know he does, because he Googles Twitter because he found some stuff I posted about him and he didn't didn't like it. So I had to go back on myself. I'm not bitter about it, though. Anyway.
See, the thing is, we were talking about Brian Sorensen. I think you swap Brian Sorensen and Mark Skinner, and Manchester United are doing far better.
Potentially, but I would also say that Manchester United aren't doing that badly either, because they are in a cup final again, and they are in the European slots, and they have progressing in Europe. So I wouldn't say they're doing terribly either.
I would argue they're doing that despite rather than because of their manager, though, Adam, as we know.
Yeah, I would always say with Mark Skinner, and we are now leaning dangerously towards talking about the sub cup. I would still say Mark Skinner is, he has the ability to take a very creative team, grind the heart and soul out of it, and just make it a really tough, low block, difficult team to break down. So he's like bringing Sam Allardyce to Barcelona and making them go low block and punt it long towards Messi and hope he gets a goal in, and then they'll go, we're slowly evolving the style. When they are a very good defensive team and really hard to break down. And I know we've had 270 minutes against them, and we haven't scored a goal. I know they're hard to break down. Then again, Kirsten Hansen did it after 3 minutes on the weekend, so I don't know how that works.
So what you're saying as a student of Arsenal history is Mark Skinner is basically George Graham with a bit of hair.
Voice.
Squeaky voice. Just 1-0
and without the league trophies to go with.
I was going to say, an Arsenal fan talking about grinding out 1-0 wins is a bad thing.
No, it works if you win the league. And you don't have any time with it.
I'm just there like, sorry, do you know your own club's history? You clearly do, and clearly this is
women's history, not men's history. Well, we'll put the disclaimer. Vic Akers, and again, we did win a Champions League with a grind out 1-0 win. So we can be done.
Champions League? Who's that one from? Now, let's move on. So speaking about United, annoyingly, United did beat Villa. Darn them at the weekend. First half was incredibly tight. 1-1. Kirsty Hansen getting the equaliser 2 minutes after Ziggy Otiolma's quite impressive Olympical. I'll let her have that one. But when you were talking about the actual style of football that they're playing, you're right. The first 70 minutes was dire. And then the substitutes were actually really good for United. And then they actually start to be creative. And you can see the players trying to do their own thing there and put their own spin on it. And it works. And it clearly works because then they got 3 goals and it ended 4-1.
I think when Mark's
and that's all I want to say about that.
Yeah, no, I think when Mark's going to get to position, he knows, actually, I can go for this. There's enough time. I think they signed Ellen from Hammarby, who, and as a friend of a Hammarby fan, she is I've seen her play. She's a very good striker. They got Leah Schürrle, I think, as well. So he's brought in really talented forwards that I highly expect will become really talented deep defenders. That's the thing.
Ellen Bengerheim is an amazing number 9, which of course is why Mark Skinner plays her on the left because he's a twat.
Yeah, and then or the pair on the bench. But anyway, the proof will be in the pudding. If they come out of this season with a trophy and a top 3 finish, then they'll just go, well, the end justifies the means. And there's an argument, and this is the argument I've had with Chelsea and stuff. Arsenal will go, well, we play the Arsenal way, we play great football, and Chelsea go, yeah, and we won a league treble last season. So where all that great stuff? So okay, fair enough. So it's at the end of the day, it's entertaining or winning trophies. And Mark Skinner, as far as I can see, is the only manager for Manchester United women to win a major trophy, not counting the championship, the major trophy in the top flight. He's won the FA Cup, so he must have done something right.
The sub cup has Mark Skinner written all over it.
Oh, absolutely. On 0-0 and on penalties.
On penalties.
I swear I'm going to be up very late in the night watching Manchester United.
Watch it now. It turns out.
I am very disappointed that their 2011 WSL top scorer Rachel Williams has sadly left Manchester United and gone to Leicester City. She was their best. You bring her on with 5 minutes to go, and she might just get you a goal. She was a great player for them. So best of luck with her at Leicester.
Well, best of luck to her. And she's starting for Leicester. Did start in the game at the weekend. And I tell you what, let's go there, shall we?
Do you not want to talk about Villa's defending for a bit?
No, definitely.
No, we don't.
I just like that the sub cup is perfect for Mark Skinner because he does have a very subby cup vibe, doesn't he? Like he's just going.
Probably enjoys a nice footlong as well.
I thought it was just a good name for it because no one cares about it.
I was going to say, Duncan, I apologise, first time on, but you're joining in, right? You're one of the family. It's all good.
He likes a good meatball.
Meatball Mariana.
Oh,
Yeah.
People
here we
Mariana.
go. Here we go.
Other subs are available.
That's
Not
after
for
9
Mark
o'clock. I
Skinner,
can't
it's
say
always
anything.
Rachel bloody Williams.
Yes.
Anyway.
What happened to Quiznos?
Quiz knows. Wow. Yeah, but in response to Villa's defence, Turland, Park, and Lundqvist getting 3 goals in 8 minutes. No, it didn't.
Flop.
It didn't
Collapse.
work.
I'm
really
It
glad
did. It really
turned out
collapsed.
I couldn't go to that because can you imagine me having to sit behind the bench with Mark Skinner doing that smug,
I
bemused
think you'd
parrot
get
face he does?
kicked
I
out.
think
But I tell you what, I am going to finish on a positive for that one. And
Yeah.
can we just give a shout out to Millie Round, please, who
Yeah.
scored an incredible goal for Stoke, then gets recalled by Villa, and we all went, please bring her into the first team. Please let her do something. Instead of putting her out on loan somewhere else. She comes back to Villa. She's on the team sheet and she gets on the pitch in the 86th minute.
That's good.
And she's an absolute superstar. She was getting stuck in straight away, no fear whatsoever. And this is what I do love about this Villa side is, if you look on the bench, most people will go, who? But the talent and the fight that they've got is incredible in these youngsters. So yeah, if you don't know the name Millie Round, you definitely will in the future. And
Can I
that's the
just-
positive I'm going to end on.
I'm going to give you a positive as well. Kirsty Hansen's having an incredible season. And I think she's going to be one of these players who, at the end of the season, they're going to make the team of the season. She's not going to be there, and we're all going to be in uproar. She should be in there. She's having an absolute.
Well, we all know the team of
incredible
the season is basically going to be whichever
She's the
lionesses
second-
they want to promote.
She's the second top goal scorer, Kirsty
Yeah.
Hansen.
And can we say it's
Yeah.
always nice when you score against your former club as well?
Exactly. Can we also just talk about Skinner's
What do you call her?
now she's settled into the team.
Now she's settled into the team.
Now she,
He knows all about that, doesn't he? Settling into
It
the
only
team.
How to play
It only
football.
took 2 years. You
I was like, if you watched, like, ever since she's came on loan, ever since she signed, she's been first name on the team sheet. Like, what? But yeah, and it was clearly done to rattle or just to be completely
all
ignorant.
I can say about Mark Skinner, he looks like someone who's never seen one has tried to draw an Easter Island head from description alone. Like, he just.
What a reference!
But to say things like that though about Kirsty Hansen just shows. I know.
He's not the most media savvy managers out there. He has a large foot, and he does like to put it in it sometimes. He just, there was a few times you press conference, you do end up chewing your knuckles, unfortunately, and that's he's no. We think about some of the
Or
other
licking
managers,
your
like,
lips because you can take the piss out of them on Wednesday. And
but it's but he's not. He's no like Renee Slagers, for example, who just will not just nothing just phases her at all. Just cold as ice.
I do love Renee's press conferences. She's brilliant.
You get the feeling if you had to pick a manager in the WSL who would turn around and shout back at the crowd for completely innocuous heckling.
Oh, I know. No, I know. I said it many times. It'll be Gareth Taylor because he's done it to me when I've heckled him. So, and
Of course, you've heckled Gareth Taylor.
and also we should say shout out when I was just talking about Villa. When I was at the FA Cup game, I was behind Ellie Roebuck's goal. And as North Bank, we were giving her grief, and it set off alarm bells in my head because she turned around and smiled at us. Now that's when we thought, no, you've got to be ice cold. You can't be distracted by us. If you're being distracted by us, and lo and behold, in the second half, you can see 2 goals. So I always think with a manager player, if we're heckling you can't turn around and react. You can't because that's why Aaron Ramsey doesn't play for Arsenal anymore. He was too busy.
As a seasoned ice hockey heckler, the moment they turn around and go for you. Even if they turn around, I've had players do it where you heckle them and you just turn around and go, "You're mine."
Yeah. Well, we were singing Ellie Roebuck, "We're in Your Head" or something like that in the North Bank, like just for the rest of the batch. So
please tell me it's to the tune of Zombie in Your Head.
So it's your fault.
I can't remember what the tune was, but we were keen to press home the fact that we had rattled Ellie Roebuck, sadly. I hope she has now fully recovered from having the studs in her eyes.
Who are I?
Yeah, we didn't see that until full time. It was terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. But hey, she started in this game and she made 4 saves compared to Fallon's 6. So
not bad.
maybe she should have made some more. Is what I say about that.
Full good saves, Danny. Full good saves.
Would have just went straight over.
It could have been a lot.
Poor old Robes.
But on another funny note, for some reason, you know when they give out the big flags to people in the stands,
Yes.
they gave one to Emma, and Emma sits right at the front, and she was like, "I can't wave it; it's too heavy." And she tried to do it. So she nearly took Skinner out with her flag that she had to wave.
Nearly.
Very close.
Nearly was not what we discussed. You're only getting
They receive the rest when you actually do it. Now then, last couple of games in the WSL, because we mentioned briefly about how the bottom of the table now looks, because Liverpool got their first win at the weekend. West Ham also won, which now means West Ham are level points with Everton. Liverpool are only 1 point behind, and Leicester are only 1 point in front of them. So yeah, Danny and Paul, I'll come to you for this one. Well, for these two, I mean, Leicester to lose at home to West Ham, who are struggling, was a massive one. But also, we need to talk about Mia Enderby. So I will let whoever wants to talk about that out of you two. But yeah, Liverpool finally with a win. What's that got to be like?
It's lovely to see Mia Enderby score. As someone who commented on her when she played for Sheffield, when she was 16. Playing for Sheffield United, and we must all have those stories of where we've seen young kids play and gone, they're going to be good, and then 4 years later they start getting good, and you realise they're only 20, and you're telling everybody, I knew she was going to be good. She's around, but she's only 20. How did you know? I'm like, yeah, she is. Hell.
Yeah,
because there's a lot more in women's football of people reaching the first team a lot earlier. Because Mia Enderby being 17 and regularly playing for Sheffield United, I remember commentating on her tearing apart Coventry United in the season that we don't mention because it means that my team was taken away. And then when she moved to Liverpool, it was like, okay, this is the chance for people to kind of see what she can do. And then she didn't get to play much. And it was like, So it's nice to see she's still there and still, got that skill in her and might have a breakout and might have a chance. So play her more, Gareth. I know you've spent loads of money on random Swedes and Norwegians, but play her more. The solution was already there.
Well, it feels like the whole of the Damallsvenskan is in the WSL now. But yeah, Liverpool, I mean, making incredible signings. So they've got Bergstrom, Josendal, Denise O'Sullivan as well, who's made a massive impact since you can just tell her leadership a mile away. And someone, Emily Schillag as well. She looked very impressive when she came on the pitch. Very quick, very attacking. So a very, very good signing there. Danny, how about for you this weekend? Anything stand out in those two games?
Yeah, just West Ham getting the win. I think that to pull Leicester back in there is really important for them. You've got to beat the teams around you, and they looked like they were going to get cast adrift a little bit, but to go to Leicester and win that was really, really important. I want to shout out for Hanshaw's free kick. It's a beautiful.
Yes, that was lovely. Yeah,
floaty free kick. It wasn't quite a floaty lob, but it was a floaty free kick. Nice. And Shakira Martinez as well for that goal. Really well taken for that one. Leicester like almost got back into it. It could be like a really pivotal moment of West Ham season because Šemić was pulling off a couple of good saves late on. They were holding on tight, but with that win, it just pulls Leicester right back into that four-way relegation battle, and it's not good for them, but it's great for us because we get to watch a little relegation battle, which is it was kind of separate a little bit. But now Liverpool and West Ham have won, Everton and Leicester have lost. It pulls all of them into this one battle, which is going to be very interesting the next few weeks. But I think West Ham have started to show a little bit more now. They've got a new manager in. They're starting to know what she wants from them, and it feels like they've got a little bit more momentum now. And with that win, it's gonna do them a world of good. So if you can beat the teams around them, then you are quids in.
Did we see their signing today for West Ham?
I don't think it did.
Tuva Hansen.
Oh yes, I did.
Hansen from Bayern.
Yes, that's a great sign.
I mean, Rita must be saying some good things to get these players in.
West Ham.
And they got Cascarino in as well, didn't they?
Yeah, Delphi
Yes.
Yeah. I was just going to say this because I did actually get a chance to watch these games. The two West Ham goals, I think it was the Martin's goals, both of them were just brilliant goals. And I thought this is going to be a stonking weekend for them because at the time it was 0-0 Liverpool Spurs. Although I had messaged a friend of mine, who's a Spurs fan, I said it'd be so Spursy if Liverpool's first win of the season was against Spurs, and lo and behold, and then to see them, and the second goal we thought is a defensive disaster from Spurs. I mean, that you to concede, was it 6 minutes by the time? Was it at the end of it? It was ridiculous. But, for whatever it was to basically score after the in extra time. It was the fast goal for them, and it's the first win for them. But West Ham will be seething because they thought we finally got a win, we're finally pulling away, and then Liverpool snuck up. But isn't it annoying that for the first time in ages we've got a proper relegation battle happening, and there's every chance that none of the teams will be relegated this season because of how there's
no real jeopardy to it.
I know, just how it's lined up. But no, fair play to West Ham, they're moving up. I mean, looking at the table now, seeing Everton have just. That is shocking, seeing them basically tied with West Ham. So it is official. They are in a relegation dogfight now, Everton. There is a real chance that they could tank and go bottom of the league for the second time in their history. Poor old Lee South Pacific. So, yeah, hopefully they can sort themselves out. But that's that's a bit of a stinker for them.
The one that worries me about is if Leicester are in that pot. Of those teams, I think the team with the least quality is Leicester.
But I think the team with the worst.
Genuinely, I thought you were going to say the team with the least points is going to go down.
No, well, yeah,
and that saddens me because,
how it works.
The
team, but I would say
Coventry representing. But
yeah. I just remember watching Liverpool against LCL, and it was the week, and it was one of the worst games I'd ever watched. I mean, it was like a Quality Street 10 after like a year on, and all that was left were just the wrappers because you couldn't be bothered to throw them away. There was just nothing inside. There was no quality at all. Just terrible. I know, but it's just
you didn't even go with only the yellow toffees. You went full empty. That's how horrific it was.
The toffees are stuck to the bottom now.
No. The toffees are 10th. It's Liverpool.
Melted and sad.
And I thought that was the Liverpool dead set, but they've won a game, so maybe this is the start of something. And maybe the thing is, if WSL usually, if you won about 2 or 3 games, you'd stay up. But I don't know now. It's going to be interesting until the end of the season. I thought Liverpool were dead set to go winless, but I was wrong. So we'll see what happens.
I just wish it wasn't Gareth Taylor managing them.
Tell you what made me laugh in his post-match. You know how when he was at City and he'd always go, it's so great to win here at the Joy Stadium. In his post-match, he said about how he felt joy. And we were like, Joy Stadium.
He's still getting those sponsors in. He's still ching.
Today I feel joy.
Gareth.
Today I feel joy. Today I feel LSV. Today I feel Goodison Park.
Today I feel totally wicked.
Yes.
Can I just say no one ever feels the Broadfield?
Oh. Today I feel Amex, and that is my sponsorship for the day.
Yeah. Now, I can get on board with that.
That would be
or on
nice.
the stadium.
Well, yes, when it finally gets built, absolutely. But the one downside to these transfers coming in is certain players attract certain headlines, and all of the headlines from the weekend were about Alicia Lehmann. Even on my, when you go on X and it's got the suggested things, Alicia Lehmann's Leicester defeat to West Ham, and I was like, sorry.
She's the manager now.
It isn't dry yet.
Yes.
I feel incredibly sorry for the Leicester City admin, by the way, because the comments on
the comments are vile.
Oh no, we had that with Holmberg when Holmberg signed for us, and she put a little video saying, "Come and join and watch my United play." The admin had to delete the post. It was that bad, and it was because
you get all the classic. Oh, I might start watching women's football now. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, and unfortunately, It's very unfortunately, and I only found out that this very recently. But apparently, the nickname for the Arsenal fan base has other connotations which are more vulgar, and which I will not. Yeah, and of which unfortunately then people then twisted onto, and it's just like what is in your mindset that you make comments like this and post this, and like this Alicia Lehmann signing is, I'm sure. I mean, I was talking to someone at work and people in football, and they're a big football fan, and they said, "Oh, what's your favourite footballer?" And she said, "Oh, it's Alicia Lehmann," and I thought, "Oh, right, yeah." I know why you're a Alicia Lehmann fan, and it's nothing to do with the football. And it's just, unfortunately, it is the toxic world we live in. And I mean, I'm sure she's a great footballer. I'm sure hopefully do great things at their city. I just hope that's what people should be turning.
You know what? She is though. She's a decent footballer. Yeah, like you wouldn't.
That's what it should be. But it's
and that's what the thing should be about.
The worst bit was the signing bit. And sometimes you wonder if the clubs are playing into it.
Lean into it a little bit.
Only because
that's low hanging fruit.
There was the picture of her, the classic picture of her, standing, staring, holding a football in the team shirt, giving it the full 1,000-yard stare, welcome to Leicester and all that stuff. Fair enough. And then the shot that they chose. The next shot that they chose of her walking around walking out into the King Power or standing watching the King Power.
Was that when she then walked away?
Was slightly lower down from behind.
I would have thought that the admin team would not go to the lowest common denominators. They would not sink so deep that even the Titanic can be found, sort of thing. In those deep sea trenches, you wouldn't go that vulgar on a women's football account or do a vulgar post just for the clickbait. Surely not.
You can deny it, can't you? Because you can go, right? It's just a still from the video. See,
no, I would say if admin, you can't play stupid because WSL fans will see right through it. We're no mugs.
Yeah, you will. We'll get called out.
What with Alicia Lehmann in
the issue I think people see through it sexualized so much.
Sorry,
Kai, go on. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, I think she's sexualized so much that we're nitpicking signing video. The fact is, she forced their own goal in that game. You know what I'm saying? She's the one who kind of almost gets the win, or the one goal that Leicester scored. But yeah, I think that's the problem. There's conversations. Alicia Lehmann is somebody who's been dissected through this lens for a very long time, and I feel like I agree with Adam. I feel like a club would not do something like that, or somebody who works at the club would probably not be that stupid to pull something like that off. But yeah, I think it just speaks to the level of sexualization as well as like objectification, whatever. And hopefully, I mean, it's heartwarming to actually see a lot of fans stand up for footballers, be it Simila Homburg or in Chelsea's case, Lola Brown, which was just absolutely disgusting.
Yes, of course, yeah.
So I feel like as the game grows and as the fans become more and more vocal, these things come down a lot more.
It does please me. We finally had at least one prominent journalist in Beth Fisher openly just turn around and say, this sexualization is stupid.
Yeah,
and hey, women's football fans, we need to sort this out. Because we had the thing, and she made the point of saying, why do we care so much about players' sexuality? Because...
someone
asked Aitana her sexuality. And to be fair to Aitana, she answered it.
She answered it really respectfully.
Yeah, she just said, I'm straight, but I think all sorts of things. But the reaction of Aitana Bonmati saying she was straight from actual credentialed journalists as well as fans, and actual credentialed journalists say, oh my God, it's left me feeling that Aitana's straight, and loads of comments of, I can't believe it either. It's really, and all this stuff. It's like, how would this, you're the same people who, if Alicia Lehmann said she liked women, would absolutely lose their minds at the inevitable hundreds of idiots going, well, that's me not watching women's football anymore.
Her girlfriend was Ramona Bachmann. Just saying. They were very publicly together. It's those are the things that even if you think it, you don't put it on a public forum.
Yeah.
Like you do it in your group chat or to a friend. That's just like a comment that you make on a story.
Yeah.
You don't
And
make it.
I do think we still have the problem that because women's football is so desperate to be seen as inclusive, which is a great thing.
Do you think we include too much?
There are perhaps behaviours that are being.
I think a lot's let slide.
We over tolerate for the sake of inclusivity. Is that what you're insinuating?
Yeah, because people won't call them out because they're either don't notice it or they are worried that they will get. I mean, I've spoken to players who've said, they're unsettled by what fans write about them, but you absolutely can't say, some women's football fans are weird because you get hammered. Because you get hammered for how dare you say that, because of the circumstances. If you turn around and go, male women's football fans are fucking weird, which they are, some of them, everyone can get behind that. But if anybody says, hey, some of this is not just guys doing it and it's not whatever, then it gets into all sorts of murky areas that you have to be a lot more careful around, and people will accuse you of
a couple of eggshells to walk upon.
Maybe
and a lot of eggshells.
Oh, we're all weird. We're all messed up. Don't worry. And but some of us are more messed up than others, and I take great pride in that.
And that's why we're all friends now.
Yeah.
But no, there needs to be a lot more. We've talked about safeguarding in the past, haven't we? We've talked about just making sure the players themselves are okay first and foremost. And I mean, Alicia in particular, she has been quite public with, she has done calendars, and she is a brand, isn't she? And she knows what will sell at the end of the day, and we know what wages are like. And if we have time, we'll talk about that little article that came out today at some point. But she is very aware, and she's in charge of that. So you just hope the footballing version of her, she has as much control over. And that's what
I was going to mention the thing about wages. You've done it perfectly, because isn't it? It is genuinely shocking that under 23s in the WSL can legally not earn a living wage. When you think of the level of talent of some of those players, and some of them are playing for England, some of them are playing internationally. Michelle Agyemang, for example, plucking one out of the air because we've got an Arsenal fan and a Brighton fan here. Imagine being told after her Euros, oh, actually, the WSL don't pay her a living wage after profiting off all of that effort and the FA and the lionesses and everything. And you just look at it and go, and this is why, returning to a couple of weeks, we need wage regulation in the WSL at both ends. So we need a cap.
Yes, and that was in the article, wasn't it? It was very much, we need to raise the floor
and lower the ceiling,
and then we need to
Yeah.
And then that makes it does make it fairer. So we hope clubs, will see the minimum and say, no, our players are worth more than that, and they will give them more. However, you just don't know, do you? Because everything's reported, and so hidden.
I wonder if it applies to players like Olivia Smith as well.
I think the article says it's WSL2.
Does it say WSL2 specifically?
Yeah, I think it's only WSL2.
Yeah, not WSL. So yeah.
But I mean, it's still not good.
Think of some of the clubs in that league.
Still plenty of internationals. Yeah,
exactly.
And you just think, really, they're not worth what the WSL under 23s are worth, really.
I mean, they're promoted now, but you think Lionesses and Lionesses have, when they're in the lower league, had stocked themselves with quite a lot of talent, and they've had a lot of youth talent as well, and then they would be massively underpaid at a club which is promoting being a big spender. I mean, we know money in the game is poor. I mean, and as much as they are, prize money, another thing. This is again, just talking on a tangent. What happened today? This Champions Cup thing is it's like the biggest prize. It's bigger than it's bigger than the Champions League. The prize money for this.
Yeah, it's 2.4 million.
Yeah, and we're saying that's an amazing sum of money when that's pocket change for the men's team, which is just the disparity of it is incredible, and hopefully these as these things usually increase with time, so hopefully the women's wage will catch up eventually, and it's not there now, but we would hope if
what does fascinate me though is The
goes, it'll
WSL
catch up.
have released their financial figures for last season, so not this one just gone. The operating
Oh, was this the
figures-
top spending clubs?
No, this was the WSL as a league have revealed that they
Right, okay.
lost. They made something like £17 million worth of revenue from various things, and operated across the league at a loss of 8.2 million, which is about 800 grand per team, which is not that much at all when you think about it. And you have people going, "See, this proves women's football ain't sustainable." I mean, sorry, have you seen what some men's teams lose in a week? And we're talking about an entire league here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's still a lot to do. But again, you've got to put everything into perspective, haven't you? And they did say, I think I did see that article actually, now you're talking about it. They said, yes, we're running at that kind of a loss, but it's part of the business plan. We're expecting it, and that's okay. We have planned and we have prepped for this. So hopefully it can only get better in the future. Now then, let's look at the league table there. So yeah, City still out in front, 6 points clear. So bunching at the top end-ish, bunching at the bottom end, and then you've got the lovely best of the rest in the middle with Brighton, Villa and London City on the teens. Now, coming up this weekend then, if you all want to scan through those, are there any matches that jump out as either important or interesting?
Well,
of course,
Arsenal Leicester City really pops out to me because it's not being played. So
that's why there's a P next to it.
I wonder why.
because of the Champions Cup
about
that has been universally panned in the media, even though
I'll always say this is one of those cup competitions where you don't care about if you lose it or you're not in it. It means absolutely nothing and should be mocked. But if you win it, it's the most important trophy and should be celebrated for the rest of the season. So that's it's like the Community Shield. Or you don't care if you don't win it, but if you do win it, it's pretty good.
You're going to be there like we're the only English team to win a world championship.
Yes, I am. If we win, if
champions of the world.
If we beat the Griffins, there will be a rendition of Champions of the World. You'll never sing that going around the ground for the foreseeable future. Only if we beat Griffins. Otherwise, we rightly should be mocked for it. City Chelsea's the big one, isn't it? That's at the Etihad, isn't it? I assume.
Yeah.
That's the title decider. If Chelsea win that, they can reel him in. If not, it's over. Manchester United, Liverpool. I'm assuming that'll be at Old Trafford, or are they sticking that at the LSV? Do we know?
Progress with unity.
Progress with unity. I can check for you. I don't have it off the top of my head.
Because just looking at that,
I think the Man United men's team are at home on Sunday as well. So
okay, so yeah, it'll be it's a shame really because again, Manchester United Liverpool, big game. The game at Anfield, the reverse pitch was great last season. We'll see what happens there, and then Everton Villa.
I feel like this is a huge game for Everton as well. Like another home game. The fans, like we said earlier,
wouldn't it be so Villa if they were the first team Everton beat at their new home at Goodison Park?
It would be quite Spursy of Villa, wouldn't it?
It would be Spursy. Well, speaking of Spurs, they're away at West Ham, who are on the up now, and Spurs have suffered the ignominy of losing to Liverpool. So relegation beckons for them clearly, and rightly so. And then Brighton LCL. I mean, what's happened? Because LCL swapped their manager out, and to be honest, I wasn't wowed against Liverpool, and they obviously lost against City. I mean,
Nessie has just arrived in the chat. Nessie has heard that and gone, right, here we go.
I could not understand why they binned off their manager, and so close to Christmas as well. He's got kids to feed. Yeah, you have to go home and tell him his kids he can't get into that PlayStation because he's lost his job. I mean, how hard?
I think being paid by Kang, he probably could.
The gold-plated one.
Yeah, maybe. But that was a very bizarre decision. I mean, I don't know what they were looking for, but they haven't really wowed since the New Year's come back. So I'd think Brighton could do something there.
We beat them already away from home, so I'm hopeful. Back at our place, I still think it'll be a tight game because when we beat them, it was a tight game. It was one of those real ones where we got 1-0 up and we basically had to just chant for the last sort of half an hour just to keep everyone going. It felt like one where the actual, the fans actually kind of were the, quote unquote 12th player, because we were just bellowing at the LCL players to basically go away from us. So yeah, I think it'll be tight. I'm sort of hoping that because they've got a new manager, they'll still be a bit like not quite sure of what they're supposed to be doing, and obviously we all know the fact that they've kind of they've speculated to accumulate. Yeah, I'm hopeful of a win there. And then if Everton could just do us a little favour, then we'd kind of go a little bit clear of that middle pack.
Can you just wave fivers at them? Like,
yeah, I mean, possibly. I mean, it's. I have to say, I will give them a shout out. When we went up there, I forget what their stadium is called. Something Copper Jack Stadium, I think it's called.
So do they most of the time.
They are really, really good with the away fans. They were giving out scarves, they were giving out programs, all that sort of stuff, and there wasn't a hint of oh, well, they're for us, and you can't have that, and you can't go in there, and all this sort of thing. Not that there often is, but yeah, they were fantastically welcoming. I must admit,
Duncan, because they're desperately hoping to build a fan base, and
and I think that's true. And I think to a lot of people, if you lived in the north of Sussex, or certainly in Kent, if you go there and get that sort of welcome, or you come to the Broadfield and get a hot cup of grit for £3.50, then you might just decide to support London City.
Or you can just go to the Valley and go and support Charlton.
There you go.
But however, if you go to LCL, you can see, the likes of Alexia Putellas in the crowd supporting the team, which people put two and two together and thought that Kang was going to put a bid in for
Can you imagine?
Which we saw on the socials, and we were scratching our heads and thinking, oh dear, she's gone to see one of her friends at Manchester City play football, and all of a sudden it's Alexia to LCL, here we go, confirm, which would just would be outrageous and hilarious and stupid.
The amount of people that ran with that story, though.
Yes, I know, it was brilliant.
It was insane. It's like Alexia Putellas was not going to play football in a field in Kent. Like, no.
We'd have said that about Kosovari Aslani 2 years ago.
Yeah, but
we had high hopes.
Yeah, but Aslani's no Putellas, Putellas, they're two different things.
We'd have said that about Delphine Cascarino. She swapped San Diego, the Pacific coast of America, for a shithole in South London.
Or can we all say Alex Morgan going to Spurs? I mean, let us not forget.
I mean, wow. I'd like to
fans have forgotten that.
There was
3 games.
And she missed a penalty in a shootout against Arsenal. There was one of those wild times during COVID when just the most random players would turn up at people's doors. We had the Rose Lavelle at Manchester City, and Heathen Press at Man United. Yeah, Morgan at Spurs.
Yeah.
What wild times! No fan was able to go and watch them play. It was crazy.
But just the weirdness of London City in general, but particularly, it's depressing because every game you look at them and you root for their opponents, because at least their opponents are a football team with a tradition and are representing something, and their fans get London City. Their fans are people who can't be asked to go to the Emirates or travel to Arsenal away, mostly,
or live in Dartford.
I'm not sure people live in Dartford. I think they just exist in Dartford, having been there.
Harsh. As someone who was born, who has family born downriver, I would just temper your words, Paul.
I can say this as a half southeasterner as well, though. It's like Chatham Town are doing really well, and it's really good to see. But I tell you what, that is the nicest thing to happen in Chatham since the dockyard shut.
I don't know. I think the happiest thing happened was when I was born in Chatham, but that's another matter.
You were born in Chatham?
I'm a Chatham boy, born and bred. Yeah, I'm from the Medway. So
Gillingham, believe it or not. My family are Gillingham, so I'm from the next town over.
So I lived in Rainham, so I was the next town along from you. So there you go.
Just all of the Medway towns.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear, crikey, we've been.
And Graham should know all of you from.
This is worrying. our Venn diagrams are closer than I thought. You'll be, crikey.
We might have been on the same train or something.
Well, that's the worrying thing. I'm already going to tell you you've been to like the Pentagon shopping centre and all that, and I'm thinking, oh, crikey, it's all.
I think as a kid we definitely did. I remember being stuck on a train to Maidstone East.
Now you're quoting the station, my local state. This is ridiculous. Right, can we move on to something else now? I know.
Yes, please do.
I am worried. I'm worried going to open my window and Paul's just going to be waving at me from across the road.
This is the new Rosie appearing at the window, isn't it?
This is actually a surprise. You're actually twin brothers.
This is the bit where like we've got a confession to make, Adam. You know, there was someone in your life that we didn't let you meet, but he's here today, all the way from Coventry.
I mean, they can tell. Someone accused me once of being from Sheerness, so I said, "Look, count my fingers. I'm not from Sheerness."
No, don't tell me about the Isle of Sheppey. Anyway, let's say moving on back to football.
This slander.
This is in Ramsgate. It's the Kent Mafia.
Yeah,
honestly.
For the rest of us who aren't from those areas, I've no idea what you're all talking about. So,
well, yeah. Oh, I need to ask Paul: are you a man of Kent or are you a Kentish man? That's the real question.
I believe I am.
Should that be on a t-shirt?
It's like you believe Judean People's Front.
Isn't Kentish man west of the Medway?
Yeah, I think man of Kent. I think he's on the east, but someone in the comments will correct me. So if you Kentish, it depends on which side of the river you're born.
I am a Kentish man, and for some reason, when especially Arsenal fans talk to me, they always pronounce it wrong.
Yeah, no, you know what? I have that same problem. For some reason, they think I'm a very Kentish man, and I can't think why.
But
proving everyone right. So yes.
Back on the game. Back on the game.
Essentially, Brighton. I mean, they should win against London City, shouldn't they? Yeah. Villa should win against Everton. It'll probably be a draw. It'll probably be an Everton last minute winner. If we're really going for it. Liverpool, I mean,
0-0.
Well, if Kelly Gargle plays, of course, because we've all heard rumours. We're not going to talk about them because obviously they're all hearsay, and we're not going to go down that route. But hey, who knows if she'll be in the squad? But as Duncan said earlier, a massive miss.
So we don't know if Kelly Gago's a go-go. We don't know if.
We don't know if she's gonna go, or if she's gonna stay. We don't know yet.
Ironically, it's a massive miss as well. It's much like Everton have been performed recently. So.
dear.
Well, Everton have also got. They're gonna lose 5 players to the Asia Cup in a few weeks as well.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like good planning, does it?
No,
it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But it's okay because.
Is it though?
Let's have a look at the. No, hang on. I should have had this ready. But they've brought in Hannah Blundell and Layla Harbert on loan, and they've recalled Mel Lawley and Inma Gabaro. So
have you seen Arsenal fans have already been making Chloe Kelly comparisons?
To who?
Over how Layla Harbert will develop.
Oh, Everton. Yeah.
Oh. Because they're saying Harbert's following a similar pattern.
Okay.
And Taylor Hines did the exact same thing. Went on loan, and then so Layla Harbert will she'll go on loan to Everton. Everton will sign her. She'll be really good, especially against us. She'll be snapped up by Man City, and then in 10 years' time, we'll pick her up, and she'll be a star. Player off the bench for us in the new season. So there, it's all sorted. It's all in the can. All laid out.
Sorry, was that all in the can? Did you say, Adam?
Oh no, can all in the plan. the grand plan for final success in the field. Doing the same thing we did 10 times before was the last thing I was expecting this time.
That's Everton's attack. They will get the ball and walk very, very slowly towards the opposition.
Absolutely.
And we shall not defend. Anyway, Kai, how are you feeling about the game at the weekend?
Not very positive.
Sorry. I wish it was another game we could talk about.
The only thing I will say is I don't want the same shit over and over again. I don't want to see Alyssa Thompson running around
that's fair.
Chicken. Like, that's all I ask for.
Yeah.
Listen, I want to go the extra mile and say I don't want to see a back three, but that's not going to happen. We're seeing a back three. But
why are you back three? Why?
It's a magic number, isn't it?
Listen. whimsical. She
didn't
does
seem
whatever
right.
she
We're getting the
wants.
90s references in here, aren't we? Properly getting them.
Anyway, you
Yeah,
won.
yeah.
Chelsea won the Etihad last season, so as long as Man City get a goal disallowed because the ref was a bit early with their whistle again, then I'm sure they'll turn it around and win 2-1. The irony is that Chelsea are in the same position we were in
that was
last
not
the
a
other
Etihad
weekend.
game, though. Sorry.
Last weekend, I was going into the Chelsea game thinking, oh, we're not going to win. It's going to be terrible. Now the boot is very much on the other foot because now you're going to the Etihad Stadium thinking, oh, no, we're not going to win. It's going to be terrible. So
Yeah,
it's kind of
I think it's going to be an interesting one. Just want to see a good game of football. I don't want to see
Yeah.
this team just roll over.
yeah.
That's the
Because,
thing. Yeah.
And honestly, like this game feels a little bit like a free hit because I feel like nobody really feels like they can actually win the title at this point.
That's
So
weird,
it's,
though. It's weird to have the feeling that Chelsea are going into a game that they're not going to win that is not against Barcelona. It's a very weird sort of...
no, can I say something? I was pretty infuriated when
Yeah,
I
you
saw
tell him, Kai.
Sonia Bompasta saying the title race is over. It's not over. What do you mean? Mathematically,
Yeah,
it's
but
still
Emma Hayes
possible.
also said that, didn't she?
Yes, I was
I mean,
actually yes.
Emma Hayes is in a league of her own. I don't know what kind of mind
Well,
game she plays.
maybe Sonia's going to get the mic after winning City like 6-0.
She's no Emma Hayes. I'm
over.
sorry.
Yeah,
Well, we need...
Sonia, because I actually know the French for it's not fucking over, and that's what Sonia Bombasta's going to say. Just
what you need is Sonia reciting some poetry in the press conferences. You know, maybe
Yes.
maybe reciting Frere Jacques or something. I don't know, but doing some, you know, speaking some French and and getting.
I think she needed to shove Renee Slegers last weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
It was a missed opportunity.
But yeah, it is weird. I was talking to a Chelsea friend of mine who was saying it's a bit weird that that Sonia sort of called it so early. I mean, I can understand with Emma Hayes because it was after that Liverpool game, that bonkers Liverpool game, and it was quite late in the season. You could sort of see, forgetting, of course, who the Man City manager was at the time. But in this instance, it's quite early in the season. Now we are only in January. You know, there are still games to play, and if Chelsea win, it could happen. You know, they're only going to be looking at the stick and table now, 6 points.
Yeah.
And if we beat Man City, all of a sudden it's down to 3.
And they have to play United as well. So you never know. But
you never know. City got the advantage they haven't got Europe, so they've got a bit of flexibility of rotation, especially obviously now the League Cup's out of the way. It's just is like, you know, can you go on that length of winning run before eventually teams start figuring you out, and then you get that decay, and then other teams can catch you up. I mean, that's a relentless pace to they've won 12 in a row. I mean, if you're asking them to win every game to have the end of the season, if they do that, you go hands up. We were never in the same room as you, Man City. Congratulations. Absolutely. But as a new manager coming in, you think at some point it's going to catch up to them. That, you know, eventually, and if not this season, definitely next season. So
to some extent, I do feel like it's already happening a little bit because in the last few games, City have been struggling. They've just been winning by fairly small margins.
Yeah,
in the last
like LCL.
Games.
But
and LCL could have very well nicked a draw in that game. To be honest,
they could.
But I think from a Chelsea perspective, I think the issue is our form has just not been good, and the setup has not helped. It's most
of my points I've seen you drop, and I've seen in the game. Bring back to the Arsenal game. It was one shot on target. I was amazed when it went to 2-0. I thought, Chelsea come back into it. The amount of stuff that just flew around our goal, like there was some header, and Cuthbert had a header, stuff James was blazing over, thinking, this is ridiculous. I mean, any other game, Chelsea would stick this in the net and it'd be 2-2. I was amazed just how misfiring. It's like meme of like when Wigan rolls out of bed and tries to shoot the alligator and just shoots everything around the alligator. It was crazy. It was worse shooting than us the other week. It was crazy. So I don't know what's going on at Chelsea. That was very, very strange. But then they are the kind of team that, you know, if it was in the Emma Hayes world, they'll rock up at Man City, grind out a 1-0 win with the Sam Kerr goal, and all of a sudden it's back on. If Man City win that game and place book, then I think it'd be a 12-point margin, won't it, at that point?
Yeah, it's game over, isn't it? They have to win. I think Chelsea have to win. I think the one good thing going for Chelsea in this one is that they know they have to win. Like they can't go into it thinking a draw enough. So that might actually help them a little bit mentally to be going into it like we've got to go out and all out.
Yeah,
and guns
blazing and go and win this game.
And they won the Sub Cup game, which was at the Joy.
They did, yeah.
So they go for a bit of a different agent, but at the Joy. So maybe it can happen, but that is the one. That is the break point moment there where you can just, you know, get over the hill. If you beat Chelsea, you could pretty much put your car into cruise control and grind out the season with a four win effectively lead on everyone else. I think that'll be it.
All I'm saying is, being a Coventry City fan, 12-point leads mean nothing.
Oh, well, where are Coventry in the Championship now? By the way, are they still top? Oh, well, there you go. It's all right then.
But only by 3 points and losing. And I will say, I've been on both ends of that, because obviously Coventry City men are throwing it away in classic Spurs Coventry fashion. But I still refer to the Great Escape, which was 11 points in January, and probably about 9 points by this point, and still Coventry United stayed up. So
it can happen. It can happen.
It can.
If they can find someone to score a 35-yard free kick on the last day of the season, Chelsea, and there are a few in that team who can do that.
It can.
It definitely can. Just looking at some scores people put into the chat, so thank you very much for those. Emily saying draw for Brighton, London City. Oh, win for Villa. Thanks very much. Draw with United and Liverpool as well.
I'm going for 0-0 on that one. Oh, I hope it's 2-2. That'll be a stonking game. I hope it's.
That would be a good 2-2.
I would love a proper crackerjack high scorer. That will be a real. I won't be able to watch it because I'll be at Emirates Stadium watching a different competition. But I hope that game is equally as entertaining as what I will be experiencing.
I am absolutely rooting for Liverpool to beat Manchester United.
Of course you are. Of course you are. The hate watch is real. The hate watch is real.
The hate watch is like wanting syphilis to beat gonorrhea.
Getting that dopamine right in the vein.
Just Gareth, I hate you. I have made no secret that I think you're crap. But the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
The enemy of my friend is also my enemy. That's not how it works.
That's not how it goes. Duncan Graham's on your side.
Wow.
Right
by 5.
Wow. Right by 5. That'll be a
5
good
shots, maybe. That could be 5 shots. Could be 5 corners. Probably more likely than 5 goals, but you never know. You never know.
You never know. And that's the best thing about our teams being very solidly mid-table. Anything can happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Could be a win, could be a lose, could be a last minute. You just never know, which is incredible. Zach saying City have to hold on against Chelsea this weekend, which is why I think a draw is going to be the most optimum turnout for that one. Chelsea playing for their title. Well, Chelsea playing to regain their reputation at the end of the day, because
don't forget we have Sam Coffey to casually step in as well for.
Yes, of course, she's had her first minutes for City now as well. It's all go. Yes, yeah.
I'd completely forgotten they'd signed her.
She's the only one they have signed this window, so just the one. But yeah, before we let Duncan and Kai go, Duncan, is there anyone that you would like Brighton to still sign? Because we're into the last couple of days now. So yeah, do you want anyone else, any particular positions, or do you think they will at the end of the day? Will they sign anyone?
I think they will. They've been talking about it sort of internally, that obviously we went into the season light on strikers, and then obviously Michelle Adjaman gets injured. We've got Carla Camacho, who was coming off an ACL when we signed her. She, I think, played a few minutes for Real Madrid in her comeback, but not a lot, and had primarily been playing, youth team tournaments and stuff before that. So we really need like an established striker to come in. As to who we will get, I think it'll either be one end of the spectrum or the other. It'll either be someone like Tvetten that we just signed, in that it will be someone from, sadly, not the Swedish league, because they've been cherry picked already. But maybe
there's no one left.
Exactly. Yeah. So whether it'll be the Norwegian league or something like that, or a lower team in some of the more prominent leagues like Germany or somewhere like that, it could be a player. Along those lines. I'd quite like to see, if London City are going to make another signing or two, I'd take Nikita back for the last half of the season. She's had her sort of playing time cut into. She was starting games a lot at the beginning of the season, and it strikes me that they kind of had to make a decision who they were going to stick with, whether it be Izzy Goodwin or Nikita. And it seems to be Nikita that's had her minutes eaten into. So I would take her back because there's a lot of players out of contract in the summer.
Yes.
I don't think there are chairs for all of the people on the musical chairs round. And I'd like to see some of the talented players that are out of contract end up at Brighton. So I think it'll be one end or the other. It'll either be a really experienced player at another club. I know quite a few Brighton fans who would love Beth England, but whether Tottenham are willing to club captain, so there's obviously a challenge there, but she's not going to get as much game time with obviously their influx of new players. So it could be someone totally out of the blue, or I think if failing that, it will be sort of someone we probably all know and have heard of, but perhaps towards the end of their career or needing a different change of scenery.
The name that I keep thinking, we were talking about this, Holly McNamara would be a perfect Brighton signing.
Yeah, I wrote an article about 10. I think it was 10 players, strikers that Brighton could sign, and I had to add 2, which was Esther Okoronkwo because she did so well in Canada, and Holly McNamara. She's the other one.
Nice.
Dario's former club.
Yeah.
He had her there, but she didn't play a lot under him. But I think probably because at the time she would have been, I think, 17 or 18. And it's really been her sort of age 20, 21 years where she's developed into this, goal scorer, made obviously Matilda's squad and scored, albeit in a friendly, I think, on her debut. So I'd love to see her come over here and be given opportunity, because I do think she could be the next sort of Australian off the sort of production line, as it were. So that would really that would be an exciting one for me, definitely.
That'd be really exciting. Yeah. Kai, how about for you? Because Chelsea haven't signed anyone. I know you've got loads of people on the bench, but they have let go Jean-Francois and Akpan. And of course, Mara Alba's gone out on loan to Werder Bremen. Do you think that anything will happen this window, or do you think you're pretty set? You just need to shake up in personnel that you've got.
Just use your players properly. Don't play a winger as a striker. Just stop it. I'm sick of it. Yeah. Just use the players properly in their position. And
use their position. End of story.
That's it.
Yeah.
In fact, don't give Sonia money, I would say. Like, chill out for a bit.
Confiscate her allowance. You are not buying anyone else until you learn to use the players you've got. Oh, fantastic. Right. Well, thank you to you both. It's been an absolute pleasure. Duncan, thank you so much. It's been lovely to meet you and have you on. You're more than welcome back anytime. Where can people find more of you, please, and what you do with the She-Girls?
Yeah, the best thing to do, probably the easiest thing to do, is just to go to shegoals.com, and that has sort of links to everywhere that we are. For the most part on socials, we are just at She-Goals. So if all you can remember is something to do with She-Goals, just put a .com at the end or type it into the one of the social medias, and we should pop up somewhere. So yeah, thank you very much for having me. Really appreciate it.
I think we're making connections as well, because Ness is like, see you Sunday. You can meet the one actual London City Lionesses fan in the
wild.
There you go.
Oh, good old Nessie in the chat. Yes,
hopefully there'll be a few more, but
a couple. Nessie's trying to recruit those. And Kai, what about you? Where can people find more of you, please?
You can find some of my work on All About the W, which is a channel that I run with a friend of mine, and also you can find the channel's Twitter at All About the WSL.
Perfect. Right. Well, thank you so much to you both. Go and get a good night's sleep, and hopefully see you both very, very soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Bye. Night. Night, as if they're children. Oops. Adam, I clicked off you. Oh. There we go. Resets.
I was about to ask
There's 4 of us.
Can't get rid of me that easily.
I'd never get rid of you, Adam. Never indeed. Now then, we've wrapped up WSL, of course. Thank you very much all. Adam, do you still want to have your moment for the Sub Cup?
Well, I think we should acknowledge, because as much as I am in a more pleasant mood now than I was this time last week, thanks to tonight's result and obviously the win against Stamford Bridge, I have to acknowledge that we have once again failed to get to the Conti Cup final. The Conti Cup, well, I say Conti Cup, Sub Cup now. I'm keeping it real. It's funny. In the post-match interview for the Chelsea game, they were talking about it, and Katie McCabe called it the Conti Cup. It still is the Conti Cup. It is still the Conti Cup, but yes, the Sub Cup. Yeah, it was a really poor game, and the problem was it came off the back of us having the Manchester United game. We drew 0-0, and we thought, okay, well, we'll be wiser for this, having done, being caught out twice. And it was just very frustrating. The first 50 seconds, we get a really good cross in, and Frida heads it, and it's a tame header, and it's straight at the keeper. And it kind of set the tone for this really sort of bizarre performance when Arsenal would dominate the possession, they'd push high up, and then the final ball would just disappear. You had Frida, who can't score for toffee. You've got Ford, who couldn't pick out an Arsenal player if she had the team squad in front of her. Just couldn't. There's no final ball from the wing. Rene rotated the team, which I understand because you had the Chelsea game coming up. So there was a few players that came in off the bench. Palova got some minutes in midfield, and I feel really sorry for Palova because I really enjoyed when she was playing under Jonas Eidevall. Palova was a brilliant midfielder. She was a young up and coming star. She was the player of the match the last time we got to the League Cup final, and then she had her ACL injury. She was out of the team. The new manager's coming, Rene Slager. She's playing a slightly different way, and it's just. We're not getting anything from Palova, and I watched her just now against ASFAR, and she was a passenger throughout the whole. I mean, someone was messaging on the group chat, just said, I didn't even realize she was playing. Like, she's completely invisible, and it's a shame because she's a really good midfielder. But I just think the way Rene's set up and what she wants from a midfield now is different to Jonas. So that was really sad to see. And then midway for the first half, Olivia Smith. Makes a stupid foul and gets booked, and I was watching that, and then just a little spark in the back of my head, just thought, I don't know. I had a fear that might. That's like the old Chekhov's gun. Just going to leave that there. That might be plot relevant in the second half. I just had that just sparked something in the back of my head. Thought I think that's not the end of it. I think that's going to go somewhere. And then just stupidity at the back. Just one mistake, and I feel sorry for Borba because. We were all a bit worried with Daphne because basically we were just having to pump her full of painkillers for most of the season because, as you would have experienced, she's a bit injury prone, and it's a bit. We had that is it Scott Sterling, that thing with the guy who's the penalty shootout and the ball just keeps hitting him in the face, and it was like that with Daphne. She basically just put her in a goal and on a chair and just told us just to stay there, and then she managed to still make all the saves against Barcelona. That's what it came down to last season. It's terrible. But Borba's come in and she's actually done all right, So to see the mistake happen, and it's very frustrating, and we conceded 1-0. Now, the way I can best describe it, because I was trying to think about the best way to describe this, how many of you watched Brainiac's Science Abuse growing up? Did anybody watch it was Richard Hammond? It was a science show. It was great. Well, they did a thing where they had this guy called.
I don't think I watched it too much, but
yeah. So there was an episode where they got a guy to walk across a swimming pool full of custard, and the reason you could do it is because it's what's known as a non-Newtonian liquid, which means when you apply pressure to it, it's solid, and then when you stop applying pressure, you just sink like quicksand. And that is like trying to play this Manchester United team. You have to score early. You have to get your goal in nice and early, so they can't settle. Because the more you let it drift, the more they get settled, and the more you sink into the quagmire of the low block, and the more desperate you become, and the game just peters out, and then it becomes you just flounder. As Man United have to go, you can't break us down. And we just fell into that trap again. Because the chance we were missing, like Frida, there was so casual, some of the effort. Frida had one that just went straight over the bar, like I said, and then in their second half, Olivia Smith just stupid little foul. It's pointless. It is a second yellow card and she's off, and I give her a pass because she's so young and she'll learn from this, and it's obviously down to the frustration of the situation that we're a goal down at home to Manchester United. It's not going away. We know we can't score, and the game played out as expected to. But the consolation was for me, from a purely selfish perspective, I knew I couldn't get to the League Cup final because I have work commitments. So this was kind of like, well, you've avoided me making a very difficult decision in 2 months down the line, unlike with the Champions League final. But it was disappointing. It was disappointing. So some people were saying we played well. I don't think we played well because Manchester United, the classic thing of they let you have the possession because they're confident we can just hold out and. So we had all this competition. We did nothing with it. We didn't get any really stretch Talis Joyce, who is a great goalkeeper, but we didn't really stretch her. We didn't put any big fingertips header for, we were close to that one. I thought we were very underwhelming. And that is why the Chelsea performance was such a shock to me, because I was thinking, what if we, and that again brings it back to one of my big frustrations, Arsenal, is we are so Jekyll and Hyde. Inconsistency is our great consistency. We can beat Barcelona in the Champions League final. We can beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, but we can also draw 1-1 to Aston Villa at Emirates Stadium. You know, like what are we doing? Like how are we doing that? It's very, 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 very frustrating. So yeah, no sub cup, sadly for us, which is that we was going to be at Bristol City, so that's scrunched up in the bin.
Yes.
That's next time, but we are at least into the Champions League Cup final this weekend. So if that is the one trophy win this season, I'm not going to complain too loudly.
Well, not a bad trophy indeed. We might as well talk about it now, might we? So before we get onto the WSL2, we still all have that to come. Don't you worry, everyone that's watching for the best league in the world. Got some cracking moments. I do just want to shout out the second leg of the quarterfinals of the Coppa Italia were also on this evening. Inter beat Ternana 4-0, and Roma unfortunately beat Lazio 3-0. So making Inter and Roma through to the semis, if anyone's following that apart from me. What else happened? Yes, so we will talk about the Champions Cup then. So first competition of its kind. There were earlier rounds, weren't there? There was obviously round 1 and round 2. They get about, I didn't write it down, that's really helpful. They still do get some money for their participation fees, but obviously not as much as we mentioned earlier for the winners. So the winners will receive £1.68 million, as we referenced earlier, making it the highest single lump sum essentially of a women's tournament. The second place, you get 733,000, still not bad at all. And the semi not bad, better than a poke in the eye. And semi-finalists will get 147,000 for that one. So Gotham have bagged themselves 147,000. So there we go. Now the earlier match, so there's 2 matches, and people were kind of like, well, why are you putting a match on at 12:30 on a Wednesday? That's quite bold of you to suggest that lots of people are going to take the day off work. But there were, did we all see the Corinthians support in the stands?
Yeah, I did see that. That was
that section was insane. That was
I had to miss this game because I was asleep. I haven't been on nights, but I had people who send me pictures and videos, and this Corinthian support, from my understanding, was superb on the day.
The camera kept panning to them. They're having a great time. And there was a bunch of school kids next to them, and they were waving, because obviously school trip had where their high vis. They were waving the high vis around like scarves, which I thought was very nice. But it was brilliant. And I know a lot of journalists who were there were like, no, apart from the school kids, there's only a couple of people here or whatever. But it looked, when the game had kicked off, the stand that they had open looked pretty full. And to be fair, if you're at a primary school in that area, and you get to go and watch, South American champions, and Gotham being the team they are, and you just think,
place Gotham.
Someone raised it to me that Gotham were a team that they finished 8th, but they won the playoffs. So so different from a team, finishing in the championship. If Coventry finished 6th but won the playoffs and got promoted, you'd be saying they're a brilliant team. So yeah.
They were one pick from doing so, Adam. Thanks for bringing that drama up.
They didn't win the league. It denied me my opportunity to go down to Brentford and see Temwa Chawinga tear it up. I was shocking. I'd have been straight down there.
I was going to say you'd be the first one there. But yeah, it was, so it's still pre-season for both sides. Rose Lavelle really stood out in that first half as well. It was really lovely to see her. Gotham had the better chances, but just couldn't convert. And then it was 40-year-old Gabby Zanotti. No, I've pronounced that completely wrong. Zanocchi. I do apologise. I was focusing so hard on that. I got it in the wrong place. Gabby Zanocchi, 83rd minute. And Katrin Berger got a hand to it and just wasn't enough. And just, you felt so sorry for them. But
am I right in thinking Gotham have an Arsenal lonely in Princess? And Adam, you're going to have to help with pronunciation with the second one.
Oh,
not.
is she? I didn't realise.
Princess Ademiluyi.
I don't.
No, she's
passed on
West
that one.
Ham. She was
Yeah.
West Ham.
I was going to say.
Was West Ham.
I thought the name was familiar from a London team.
Yeah, we went to went to Portland. I was Harvard, went to Portland, and then came back.
And barely played, which
No,
was
I
strange.
didn't.
Well,
Yes.
but if you're training with the best, that sometimes can be, as much as a inspiration going forward. It's this game is the classic folly, because when you get into these knockout competitions, it's very easy to look beyond your fixtures and go, see, we'll play them in the final, we'll play them in the semi-final. It's very easy to sort of predict it, and I think most people are thinking, it'll be an Arsenal versus Gotham in the final. That's how it will line up. But as you mentioned, Fred, they're all out of season. The NWSL's out of season. The Brazilians, and I saw the last sort of 15 minutes of that game.
You could tell.
It was very, very stodgy. There was just,
and everyone kept falling over.
Well, and they were all
just,
you were asking players to play to play a high intensity game. It's like asking me to run a marathon after rolling out of bed on a while I'm doing my night shift sort of thing. I'm just not in the well. I haven't got the body for it, but I haven't got the mind anyway. I can't concentrate. I'm just not in the right.
I'm genuinely shocked. All you need to know about the Arsenal, about the Champions Cup and the way the media view of it is Arsenal's chief propaganda minister, Susie Rack, has actually written an article saying that there are questions from the other teams over the advantages that it may have been somewhat the way it's been designed by FIFA.
You think it's to
basically
Arsenal?
set it up for Arsenal to win.
I was going to say that's not always how it works. The home nation of a tournament doesn't always win it. Just ask Australia or Switzerland. It just, I do.
But not England.
Not England. I'm going to avoid that one. 2005 we were hosting, we did lose it. But
and like you say, because of the big point, and I bring this up because of the point you made about Corinthians and Gotham both being teams effectively mired in their off season.
Yeah, the problem
is being very obvious. It's also caused all sorts of issues with the NWSL player bargaining and player union, because in order for Gotham to play in this, they basically had to mess about with pre-seasons and the mandated time that NWSL players get off.
Yeah, that's a fair point. The problem is you can never. I get the idea. It's a fluff comp. It's a nonsense competition, because it's not when you go in for the start of the season. You think, I want to win the FA Cup. I want to win the league. You don't think, I want to win the FIFA Champions Cup. It's not the one that you're gonna really sing about. But if you've got to be in it to win it. But it's in there, and I don't mind it, because you get to play. Arsenal gets to play teams from the NWSL, from South America, or from Africa. So you do get a nice blend. You get a different team to face rather than something.
Because it's the first time Arsenal have played a African team, isn't it? Which is incredible.
Competitively.
Competitively.
The problem is to put it in the schedule is impossible. Well, no matter which way you flip it, there's going to be somebody who it's in their off season. If it's played in the summer, it's our off season, and it's at the end of a long season. So then you're starting to worry about the injuries and so forth. And we had this when we had COVID. We had to do the Champions League against PSG, and we was a one-off game out in Spain, and we lost 2-1. And you could watch, you're thinking, we were pants, but we were also completely not in our right sort of schedule.
Yeah, you can tell that the players were not in match mode.
Especially as our last game had been the League Cup final, the Conti Cup final against Chelsea, when Beth England got that late winner, and we hadn't played it. Because it was worse for us because all the players had been locked away in lockdown. They hadn't even been on the pitch. It is a problem, and it is going to be a problem for us as well, because obviously games get postponed. So then we're going to have a fixture pile-up as well. If you go deep in the FA Cup, that's only going to go even further. If you're going deeper into Europe, that will go even further, obviously. So there is that element. There's going to be a bit of. It's not going to be good for everyone. So yeah, we'll have to see how it pans out.
We mentioned as well how they've announced finally that the Champions League teams just won't play in the League Cup? No,
it's
yes.
Yeah, we took. I don't know. I think we talked about it last year. It was asked around, and then they've actually said it is true. That's where they're going to go down. And well, I mean, we're probably going to be in it next season in the League Cup. So yeah, it'll be nice to maybe we'll have a chance of winning it. But that's actually a good point. If you get to Europe, this could well have been the Molyneux final. Might well be our last ever League Cup. You know, you don't know how these things are going to play out for a long time at least. It's a shame. It's a trophy we can't win. Or let one less trophy if we're in Europe we can't win. Also means that the concept of the quadruple is no more. It cannot be after the season. So no more quadruples, which is a shame.
Yeah.
I think the problem is the way they dealt with the League Cup is just weird. And this obsession with having this league phase or group stage or group teams. Just no. Why does this need it? It doesn't. Just make it a knockout game. As I said on pods before, and it's the classic case of that. We've got a problem. Good. We're going to solve it. Great. Here's our solution. No.
Who have you consulted? Yes.
Yeah. You have failed. You have failed successfully, or whatever the meme is. No, potentially no League Cup for us. And I don't know if you take the Champions League teams out, who's going to watch it? I mean, as a passing supporter,
you take that back.
Right. When
Phrase that we've got a trophy to win.
I mean,
Come on.
especially when Aston Villa get in the Champions League next season, you know, no one's going to be able to watch it.
You know.
But
there's 20 of us in the fan club.
but who's broadcasting who's going to broadcast the league phase? Because the group stage doesn't get broadcast, so how are we going to watch it? Because they also won't be showing their games. So who?
Broadcasting is a rabbit hole in itself, isn't it? I mean, we only found out recently that Sky Sports were hosting this Champions Cup only in the UK and Ireland, though. Yeah, so everywhere else, it's streamed for free for DAZN.
So this is the classic thing. So DAZN got the rights, as they always do, as I very much suspected they would, and then Sky decided to buy the rights off DAZN to show it in the UK, so they would get the exclusive to it. Which I know there's a question about paywall here, and obviously you're putting it behind the paywall. And the problem is Sky have sort of what's the best way to describe this? Because they've sort of normalized it, because they've got the WSL contract and everyone watches their WSL stuff, and they've almost become the normalized broadcaster. So the assumption is, well, you're already paying for it because you're paying for Sky Sports to watch the WSL, so you're not really paying anything extra. You're already in the paying club. You know, it's not like you've had to subscribe to Amazon Prime to watch it and it's never subscribed. It's like if you weren't paying for Sky Sports to watch the Champions Cup, that means you haven't been watching the WSL all the WSL matches. So it's unfortunately, I don't like it because I would love it if all football was free to watch and we could all watch it and it's fine. But at the same time, we want also there to be money in the game. We want to be investment in the game. And so there has to be an element of, well, then you have to sort of pay your way, and you can't. He said, can you expect the game to blossom and evolve and become have more money in the game if we're not willing to pay for it? You know, it's complicated. And we had the FA Player, which was great, and largely watch some games for free, but that was never the permanent solution. And I guess this is kind of sort of the it's choose your poison. It's the sacrifice you have to make, providing the cost isn't prohibitive expensive. And I think that's probably the bigger problem is you're having to spend a lot of money to get Sky Sports. I think we all know that. And that's probably when then the argument falls down. And you can think, could you not have a cheaper cost? And maybe that'll be the fairer middle ground. But then again, that's what is, and you know, I can't comment myself, but I've heard there are these things called VPNs. Maybe one of these little, who knows? But yes, it is behind a paywall.
If one was to use a VPN, then maybe.
Not that I would know, but I had a friend of mine who said apparently there's these things you can do on a VPN.
Although DAZN is very, very hot on VPNs, and there's only some VPNs that do work with DAZN, as I've been told. Through a brother's sister's friend.
I could possibly know. I would not know about
through
that.
the grapevine. I heard these things.
Indeed.
But yeah, there was a late red card in the Corinthians game. It was really funny to one of the staff, and he looked shocked for about 30 seconds, then was like, "Come on, time," which isn't the best thing to say to a ref. That's just picture.
That whole ending was chaotic. That whole ending was chaotic because I think the referee blew for full time and then realised, actually, no, hang on a minute, there's still more time to add on. And then so all the subs was on the pitch and they had to be pulled off the pitch.
Celebrating, yeah.
So yeah, very chaotic end, and thankfully Corinthians held out. So and obviously then the evening game, which was I think much more enjoyable.
Which we'll talk about because Adam How many goals did Arsenal score?
Oh, I don't know. How many goals? I lost count after 4. It was 6, I think it was by the end of it.
It was 6.
It was 6, and we were I was worried, honestly, because my worry was going into this game. I don't know anything about African football, let's be brutally honest. And I'm watching this team come up. I don't know much about people. People are saying just, oh, Arsenal should beat them. In which case, I'm thinking, oh gosh, great. That means I'm seeing 0-0 low block. We're going to struggle to break them down and so forth. But I think what you saw today was the advantage of an Arsenal team who are in the middle of their season. That they are on point. They're on fire. They
took advantage of everything they could.
Got the early goal and never looked back. And fair play. Stina got the goal. Frida scored a goal, which was a miracle. And we're hoping this Frida goal is the start of her getting some form back, because as much as I may criticise her, Frida's a very talented player. Bit like Ford. The problem is it only works every other season. So last season she was great, and so was Ford. And this season it's the old crusty doll from the Treehouse of Horrors. I see what's wrong. You got her set from good to evil. You got to switch on the back. So you got if you know the Treehouse of Horror episode, you'll know what I mean with the crusty doll. So it's like with Frida. Unfortunately, she's in her off season with Ford. So hopefully this might swing her back a bit. Great volley from Frida, and then Mario in a penalty. Really good to see a goal from Olivia Smith, obviously back from suspension, and typical Olivia Smith, fast pace, edge of the box, good control, smashed the ball past the keeper. And then at that point, I was really worried for ASFAR that it was going to be an embarrassment. I didn't want an embarrassment double-figure score line. I've seen those happen, and yes, it goes past an event horizon. There's like a line in the sand when a beating goes from, oh, this is fun, to like, actually this is actually quite sad and tragic, and we should probably and I think maybe second half, I think the Arsenal played it just about well. They didn't need to go for it. They eased off a bit, brought some subs on. Chloe Kelly is back, which is great. I know Paul is a big fan of Chloe Kelly, so he'll be treated after that. And so it was good. It was good to sit back in the pitch because she's been injured for ages, and we have missed her. And then Russo got a brace of goals as well. The last goal, the 6-4 Russo's second goal, really, really good. If you can watch it back, it's really good. Back to front, work it around the press, work it through up the channels and score. ASFAR, credit to them for getting this far, but that is as far as they will be going, sadly. There was definitely, you could see there was a difference in level between the WSL and the African leagues, but this will be an amazing occasion for them, and they get another game. They get to play at Emirates Stadium against Gotham FC, which I think will be brilliant for them. I wish them all the best. But we go on to the final against Corinthians. I think if you told Arsenal fans you won't get the NWSL side in the final, you'll be absolutely thrilled. My hope is, because we're in season and Corinthians aren't, they may struggle against us. But if Corinthians are as resolute as they were against Gotham with their defending, and we can't break them down, and we get stuck in that low block quagmire that I've been speaking about, then we could end up with egg on our faces. But it would be quite the occasion to do it, and to do it at Emirates Stadium, and fingers crossed we can get a good crowd. And then we could just put our feet up for the rest of the season, saying it doesn't matter what happens because we're world champions. So finishing 7th in the WSL, who cares? Who cares? So 6th in the WSL, doesn't matter. Those are world champions. We can just write off the rest of the season. It would be quite the achievement, and to be the first to do it. But I was said earlier about looking too far ahead. The moment you think you're going to go into a game thinking you're going to win it is the moment you get beaten 5-2 at Villa Park and left scratching your head. So
let's talk about that again. That was fun.
I hear the open top buses are booked already for the.
This is why I hate, and this is when you also when on social media you get those pictures like behind the scenes at Arsenal, and there'll be like the Arsenal 2026 Champions Cup, but it's Corinthians who win it, and it's just left discarded in storage, and people go banter, and says ugh. So that's why I will be
given out cheap in the shop.
I'll be a nervous wreck for the 90 minutes, despite how it goes. But fingers crossed.
I think they'll give you a game. I think they'll really push. So for people wanting to watch Sunday, it's ASFAR versus Gotham at 2:45 for that third place finish, and then it's Arsenal versus Corinthians at 6:00 at the Arsenal Stadium, because we can't say Emirates for copyright reasons.
And if you can get tickets, you can get tickets. Well, I have got tickets to watch both games. You can turn up and do a double.
Amazing.
You can
Oh, that's such a good day. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've done it a few times, other matches as well. So you can just basically make a day of it and watch 2 football matches, which is worth doing.
Sounds really good. Yeah, my I was going to say my Camilla. No, my friend Camilla, who I think most of you know, is coming over for the weekend to watch it. She was like, they better get through to the final. But yeah, I think she might be doing the double as well. So I hope everyone going has an incredible time. But of course, it's all on at the same time as the WSL and the WSL2. So
let's get into it.
We can make a good day of it. Maybe watch the league in the morning and then Arsenal in the afternoon, maybe, or get all your screens out, as most of us do, of a weekend. So I'll tell you what, let's talk about the best league in the world, shall we? Because we had some very, very good scores in.
That's not League F. What's going on here?
We said best league in the world.
Oh, right.
Not best couple of teams. Right. So some massive scores there. 4-0 seem to be in vogue this weekend. But yeah, Danny, wanna talk to you a little bit. Did you manage to catch any games this weekend? Anything stand out for you?
Yeah, cover your ears, Graham, when I say this, and we know where we're going. Palace are on the march. 5 wins in a row for them now. So I was watching them back the other day, right back in the race, because we've got this third place available this year as well. It's going to make the league even more chaotic than it already is. So they're up to 4th. All the goals in the second half. They had Hayley Lad start for the first game, first start for the club. They had so many chances in the first half against Durham as well, and we do love a bit of Durham on the pod as well. So Durham were their traditional kind of gutsy self in the first half, but Palace couldn't convert anything. But the second half, it felt very much like the Palace of old coming back, and this is what we've got over the last few weeks. They've snuck back into form a little bit, and they're scoring goals. They're playing their old kind of style again, and they're really starting to get on the board a bit now. Little bit of a question of handball on Molly May Sharp, from Molly May Sharp for the first one.
Yes.
But Annabelle Blanchard, a pod favourite, got one, and then Abby Larkin got one as well. They just seem to be really back to their old ways at Palace, which I know is you sometimes put the kiss of death on them, but to go and beat Durham by this many, Durham are not really the type of team that concede a lot of goals. For Palace to hammer them, they are right in the race again when we look at the league table again a little bit later on, to go and beat by this many. But yeah,
look at it now if you like. Yes.
Yeah, go on. Let's have a look now. Look, 3 points off Birmingham. Birmingham had a great win as well, but they're right up there to at least try and get the 3rd place. And we'd written them off a little bit earlier in the season as well, didn't we? That they had a bit
of a wobble, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't start well at all, but playing themselves right back into it now.
Because I'm just looking at Durham's against scores there. If we take those 4 off 15, they've got the lowest under Southampton. So yeah, you're absolutely right. They don't lose by 4-0, do they? No. Ever. So yeah, they're missing a bit of grip. But while we're talking about Durham, can we just give a massive congratulations to Becky and Beth Saliki, expecting their first baby was announced today. So very much congratulations to them. So yeah, if anyone was wondering why Saliki hasn't been playing for a little while, it wasn't an injury, it was in fact a little baby. So yes, we do we do wish them all the best. But yeah, I mean,
can I just just because I was very fortunate to go to watch Palace play in person before Christmas in the Sub Cup. At Sutton's ground. Must say, very impressed, very impressed by them. They were very unlucky not to have gone in level at half time or even had the lead. There's some very good counter-attacking moves. They had them. I was hit the woodwork a few times. So some really good chance. They should have scored. Eventually, we were able to wear them down and got the second later on through Stina, I think it was. But no, Palace. I think it's Jo Potter who's taking over this season.
Yes.
She's taken over. She come from Rangers, and looks like they're doing well. I think I'm looking at the stat. 5 wins. You say 5 wins in a row. You say now, isn't it?
5 in a row. Yeah.
5 in a row. Yeah, that is good form. And just one off Bristol City. There's always a team like in the men's stuff. There's always Paul will attest to this. There's always a team like in the league that makes a late run for the playoffs and sort of sneaks in with a good like last minute burst of form. And I could see Palace doing something like that or getting a bit higher. But no, watching him at in Subcup thought, no, you're a good team. They're a very, very good team. So I'm not surprised to see them to get a good 4-0 win over Durham.
And just to spin a narrative straight now, Jo Potter formerly played for Everton, didn't she, in a playing career? Could we get a little
funny enough,
Palace v Everton?
Well, no, funny you mentioned. I literally just had a Wikipedia page open. I'll just and Arsenal. She was an Arsenal player as well. So she's ex-Arsenal and 2 years at Everton, I think it was in the end. Maybe she could be the next ex-Everton player who you're insinuating could take over at.
No, I was just thinking of the playoff if Everton finished bottom and they finished.
Oh right. Oh, I thought you were thinking of a future manager for at Goodison Park. I thought maybe.
No, that job's sorted.
that job's taken. Bill's been on the phone, but no,
Danny knows the guy.
when you look at their midfield and attack, there's Sharp, Ladd, Cato, Blanchard, Ashley Reardon on the left. Kirsty Howard scored a few goals this year. They've got Lee Hughes who missed a sitter on the weekend, was very unlike her. But she's getting back into form a little bit. The attacking talent in general with Palace, it's where they were a couple of seasons ago, coming up and storming the league. I don't think they're going to catch Charlton by any means, but they could definitely sneak into one of those other places. And the way that Bristol City were playing at the weekend, they didn't look completely confident in their game. So that's what to potentially look at for them.
Yeah, because to say about a league, 2nd to 9th is anyone.
2nd to 9th is anyone,
yeah.
But it is. It is just really, really casual. And that's why it's such a fantastic league, isn't it? Because, we in the WSL, you've got your blocks at the top, the middle, and the bottom. Here, you've got the couple at the top that are probably going to be the finalists, but anyone else, I don't know, roll a dice like that it literally could be anyone. Because what I will say about transfers as well, and I know you mentioned there about Bristol, Danny, Ipswich getting a draw against Bristol is huge, isn't it? And the fact that they went ahead as well. So what you're saying about Bristol looking a bit wobbly and not quite themselves. For them to score first and to Bristol be like, sorry, we came into this thinking we were going to beat you. I just when I saw that I was like, oh, hello Ipswich.
Ipswich's transfers. I was It's been interesting as well because Colette Kavanagh is an interesting unknown. Classic champ woman, as it were. If you have a Barclays woman, you have a champ woman. Lucy Ashworth Clifford, previously of Lewis and Charlton, and then disappeared off to Hearts and Lazio and has now come back. Barclays woman Kit Graham on loan from Tottenham Hotspur.
Yes, I saw that. Yes.
Which is an interesting one. And the one that has sent our resident Everton fan into ructions, Kenzie Ware on loan from Everton, who is a very good defender, and I'm surprised has not been given more time at Everton, perhaps.
Yeah, me too. But the fact that they're positively recruiting and they've gone, you know what, we are at the bottom, but there's only a couple of points between them and Portsmouth, and now Durham, unfortunately, and a game in hand. They've got. Have they now got the firepower to do it? Can they pull off a Portsmouth?
Who's the game in hand? Who's the game in hand against?
So there's a couple.
There's a lot of miss. I'm assuming it's the FA Cup's done that, but there's a few games that are.
No, it's the weather.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure Ipswich was a weather one. I'm sure.
Okay, I think there's one. Okay, there might be
all of the northeast teams as well.
It might be
Crystal Palace.
It's Charlton.
Ipswich Charlton on the 18th of February. Okay. Poor Charlton.
Sophie Pesquet again, by the way. I think I've mentioned before. Sophie Pesquet, superb again for Ipswich. She'll be playing in this league no matter what happens to Ipswich next season. She's been one that came out. I think she was Player of the Year for the league below last season, and she's come up and taken to it like a duck to water, like they say.
They do indeed say it.
Can we point out, by the way, that we are definitely we'll just get this in now. We're doing a last day of the championship watch along again. It's going to happen.
Oh, 100%.
Because not apart from anything else, the last day of the championship, Charlton versus Birmingham at the Valley.
Oh,
Always
really?
happening again.
Oh, it's happened again, has it? Surely not. Oh, dear.
That could
I
have
think-
less on it then, because there's not the one place now. That could have slightly less on it, maybe. But
Could they do a German Austria like they did at the World Cup and just go, you know
Oh,
what?
no, don't. Imagine if we've set up and solved this watch along and we've
And
got
it's a 0-0 draw.
It's
They just
a
play- they just-
0-0 draw, and
they
neither
play-
teams are playing, very
Yeah,
obviously.
They just play the results. It doesn't matter, does it? Just like, yeah, okay, sure. It's a dead rubber. We'll just play the result that gets us both through, sorted, and then there we go. And then the league
Charlton
descends
will
into a
be-
farce.
Charlton will be up way before that, I think. as well.
I mean,
Well,
Charlton. They got was it Newcastle? They had, was it at the weekend? Was it the?
It was.
Yeah, I mean,
Newcastle, yeah.
I so want Charlton back. I want my little cousin. He's a Charlton fan. And I want to get the women's team. I want an Arsenal Charlton game again, either in the FA Cup or get them in WSL, so then we can do a game together at the Valley. Or I mean, again, the Valley's a great away trip. I want to do at some point. So I want the Charlton back in the WSL, also because of the heritage. As a
Yes.
there's a lot of history of Charlton, and I should say, as Croydon, they were arguably at that time the best team in the country. Even better than even Arsenal. So I would love to see Charlton Athletic back in the top flight, and hopefully the season is the
Speaking
season.
of
to do
link on that, Keith Boannas is now the manager of Chatham Town.
He is, and they got a result over York City in the FA Cup. So yes, Keith Boannas, him and Matt Beard, they were the team at Charlton Athletic for quite a few years, and I think it went to Estonia if I recall. But now back at Chatham Town.
Wow. And for everything Karen Hills is doing for the team as well. I mean, what a fantastic end to the season for her and everything she's brought to.
It was lovely. We mentioned it a couple of weeks ago when she celebrated her 150th game in Charlton management.
Yeah, with charge, yeah.
Manager or co-manager or
didn't she get Spurs up? Wasn't that she got Spurs promoted? Didn't she as manager? Didn't she get when she was?
She did, because wasn't she the one with that weird Spanish guy who disappeared? Well, not because he was weird. He was just
the weird Spanish guy who disappeared.
Where's he gone? Just been into thin air.
I think she was Spurs. I think she was Spurs manager for about 11 years and got Spurs promoted, and then obviously left, and now they can do the same with Charlton. But I think she used to play for Charlton.
Juan Carlos Amaros.
We are talking Juan Carlos
Amaros, yeah.
Juan Carlos.
Of course, he's
apparently was a bit of a Juan Carlos.
That's a good manager, no?
But she was, Karen was played for Charlton during her playing days. She was a top flight Charlton player. So it is the allure of the former player bringing it back to glory is always very strong in football, and hopefully it proves true.
And
I agree with what Graham's saying there as well in the first half, in terms of Charlton getting players forward. Like, you look at their attack when they get the ball kind of midway in the opposition's half, they just literally just power forward. It's so much fun to watch. It must be quite nerve-wracking as a Charlton fan to think, they're going to turn us over in a minute. But the amount of players they get forward, it's so good to watch. There's at least 4 or 5 players.
They do bomb forward, don't they?
Yeah.
There's not enough football teams that just when they get the ball and there's a bit of space,
go for it.
We have all this tippy-tappy graduated bollocks. It's not just send it.
Yeah,
you're sounding very you're sounding very Big Sam with that, and that's this tippy-tappy passing nonsense. Football's a simple game, 4-4-2, and lump it to the big striker up front. Charlton got 10 in the FA Cup against Swindon, didn't they? So they are, they have a goal-scoring threat.
They've got goals, honestly. Yeah, I mean, Jodie Hutton and Katie Bradley as well on the score sheet.
Yeah,
as usual.
Both having great seasons again.
Yes,
and
still undefeated, of course.
Yeah, in about 300 years. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's the stat. Yeah.
Can we
just etched into stone their last defeat? Yeah.
Can we just have the shithouse week? If and when Charlton finally get beaten, then the admin of the team that beats them has to post the famous Titanic meme, don't they?
What?
It's been 84 years.
I'm king of the world, or
It's been 84 years.
Oh right. I thought I'm not letting go, and then it's just Charlton just sort of drifting off into a frozen oblivion. But
You go way darker than I do, Adam. But honestly,
I'm a dark twisted. This is all a facade. Internally, I'm a very dark twisted individual, but I only let it out for special occasions.
And that is Pod After Dark.
Yeah.
But we'll keep into the light just for this little bit then. So yeah, Forest winning 1-0 over Sheffield. That was Charlie Wellings. That was a lovely little looped header as well.
It was.
For Forest. That was very lovely. I thought you might have approved of that one, Danny.
I did.
Can we good on this now? But Adam, as the historian, you know how Arsenal hold the record for most unbeaten
108 games across many seasons. Yes,
several seasons.
Several seasons. Yes.
Charlton were about a fifth of the way there.
Okay, how many games have they gone unbeaten?
They've gone 23 games unbeaten
in the league. Well, Chelsea did 30 or so, didn't they? And then it all went Pete Tong or something. They did when WSL last season, and then it was a bit before that. Yeah, 108 games. That was off the top of my head. That started the first defeat before the 108 run was at the Valley against Charlton, and that was in 2000. Yeah, 2003. That was, and then the last defeat was against Everton at home, and that was in 2009. So if you work out the maths, you can work out. Yeah, you can work it. Yeah, that's
five seasons to go, Graham.
Yeah, there you go.
Five WSL titles.
When you've got that triple figure unbeaten record, we'll have a pint to discuss it.
Can we pint or 10 to discuss? Yeah, Danny, what were you going to say? Yeah.
Can we talk about the Sunderland scramble for their goal, please?
Sunderland.
You don't see enough goalmouth scrambles anymore. This was a scramble to end all goalmouth scrambles to win it. I enjoyed it.
I was going to say, a scramble feels like an understatement, doesn't it? When you watch it back. It was
incredible.
Was it a scrambled egg of a goal?
It was.
Is it the kind of goalmouth scramble that on Twitter would have ended up on crap 90s football? Because just loads of ricocheting and loads of
the QPR Man City one where the ball was just ping-balling around the area and nobody can get the ball in.
That's what kept happening. Well,
it was kind of like just the ball was there and there was people taking swings at it and it was getting stuck and people were just falling over and
coming back. Someone was down.
Umpire takes a swing at it and misses it.
Is it like everybody had been spun 10 times on a spot and then go in the penalty area and have a go and everyone's just sort of I'll get a leg at it.
But even the commentator was shouting like, "How is that not over the line? How has it not gone in?" Because it was 3 times. I'm sure they put their hand up to be like, "It's over the line," and then it kept getting kicked back out again. And I just see Ant and Charlotte and all them by the flags next to it, being like, can we celebrate? Yeah. And then finally Elna Dale puts it over the line, doesn't she? And it's like, yes.
Like the football equivalent of edging, just all the fans behind the.
Move on.
All the fans. Nobody in the chat knows what that is. You're fine. Nobody in the chat knows what it is.
This is not the pod after dark. This is the light pod.
Nobody in the chat knows what it is because they're all too innocent.
Paul, you don't want to be cancelled on your own pod, do you? Let's move on.
It's too late for that.
Too late. He's still here. We told him. He still comes back.
Are we past the? It's 11 o'clock. We are past the watershed. Okay,
right. Say, nobody knows what that is. They're all frantically Googling it now.
Oh God, don't Google it. Don't Google it. Please, God, no.
But seriously, how long was it? It was a good 30 seconds of it. Sat.
Sorry. No,
I'm talking about the goal.
At least 4 or 5 different players got involved and tried to get it over the line.
Yeah.
Sounds
with
like a proper,
the entirety of Southampton's team were also in the box trying to defend it.
You know what the Shepherd tone is? It's like it's a musical thing where it's like a crescendo, but it sounds like it's going on forever. But it's a clever. It's like one of those ones where it's like a musical sort of illusion, and it's just one of those ones where it's like it sounds like it's building up to something that isn't happening, but it's just constantly sort of crescendoing upwards until finally, as you say, the ball hits the onion bag, if you will.
No,
but
it was more like. It was more like when you go to a toddler group and they give them all instruments to play and they all just whack them at different beats.
I always go for the xylophone and just
You have to stand there and go, yes, we'll get a tune eventually. Like those really annoying dance tunes that build up and up and up and up and up and up and up. and you keep thinking that they're going to drop, and they just
and the beat doesn't drop. Yeah, well, this time it dropped.
Yeah, it did. It dropped for Eleanor Dale. Well, hey, yeah,
Graham's
only their
got involved.
fourth. Oh, Graham, don't sing to that level. Fourth win, only their fourth
Graham,
win
Graham,
of
I'm
the
not
season.
angry. I'm just disappointed.
Very disappointed. But it does mean they move up to 8th. I'm trying really hard to keep this on. So yeah, they move up to 8th. In the table. Stop it. Stop it.
It must have been incredibly frustrating for Southampton.
Yeah.
Yes, to lose in that respect, absolutely, because in the first half it was all Southampton. They just couldn't take their chances. But that actually came from, it was a foul on Tash Fenton, which gave away a free kick, which then delivered it into the box, and that's when the chaotic pinball began.
Yeah,
I love the fact that Charlotte, who makes the flags, actually has the Sunderland player flags, and one of them is just a Sunderland red and white flag. Yeah. Fenton in big letters across it.
That is
my favourite flag.
So I had work with somebody. My dad knew somebody at work called Fenton, and he asked me. He had his phone number, and he asked me, "Can you do it so my ringtone when he calls me is the guy shouting Fenton?" What's ever do for it? So every time I rang him, my dad was just Fenton on his phone. It was great. It was absolutely tough.
Jesus Christ,
Fenton! It's great.
And of course, Southampton have what, a 6-hour coach journey to think about it on the way back down as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of a long one. One indeed. But yeah, just I love the person who's commented all these things. We're doing women's football, mate.
No, he has said, because he was talking about Man City as well, and he was like, "Which team was that?" Because he's a Man City fan.
Oh,
that was that bit.
Yeah, no, there's just a lot of Champions League bit there, and I'm like, we're talking about WSL too. So as much as you can talk about Champions League, you're more than welcome to. We're not on there.
So we did have a goal in the Champions League, which was cool.
I was going to mention that, but I thought, no, this is not the right place. However, if you wish to talk about the Women's Champions League, boy, have I got a conversation for you, my friend. So,
You, Adam, never. You never speak.
Did you know Arsenal won it?
Yeah, twice. Yeah, good times.
Never.
Actually, just going to say quickly, we have released a documentary if you want to really learn about it, and I recommend watching it because I'm in it on every episode in the opening titles. So it's very much in the opening titles. It's a picture of me crying my eyes out in the opening titles. It's great. So yeah, watch it solely for that.
Oh. I'm gonna have to watch it again because I did watch it. I didn't spoil you, Adam. I will go back.
Why? George is going to be like, "Why are you watching it again?" I'm looking for a guy crying in the opening.
I'm only there for like half a second, but if you do watch it, I am there. Honestly, it's. I
do think so.
I believe you.
Getting back on topic.
Yeah.
Like Danny said about Bristol City having a little bit of a wobble.
Yes.
If you're Palace, if you're Newcastle, if you're all of those teams in that area, you're going to think we've got a chance of having a crack at insert WSL team here.
You know what? You say that though. You're saying Bristol wobbling. Newcastle United. I'm looking at the table. Yeah. Game in hand, they could, a couple of wins. There's a lot, and Nottingham Forest. Well, there's a lot of teams who could probably make that run if Bristol City are wobbling. And I hope they are wobbling because we've got them in the FA Cup next. So I'd rather like to knock them out of that and move to the next round. But we'll wait and see on that one.
If Newcastle get promoted, imagine Newcastle versus LCL. It'd be like Imperial
Mary Celeste
versus the Clone Army.
It'd be like the ground be the Mary Celeste because there'll be nobody there to cheer them on. It'll just be silent.
Very good. Very good.
It'd be like a COVID lockdown game.
Which is funny because speaking of diseases that are infecting the women's game, no, in seriousness, the thing with Kang and London City are now the second highest spending women's football team.
Yes, and Kang took issue like
I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, so there's an issue. Apparently, they've broken the record for a signing, and Cam was like, "No, we haven't." And then the reports come out and said, "Yes, you have." And it's like, why wouldn't you want to brag about it? I'm sure Claire Wheatley was bragging to all her friends that she spent £1 million on a player. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Because it'll look really awkward when it comes out that Graschioro was £1.6 million to London City, and coincidentally, in the summer, Leon signed her for 1.7.
It just, yeah, because out of the top 10, wasn't it? It's either Chelsea, the NWSL, or clubs owned by Michelle Kang, and that's it. And you just think at one point there was a parody account that said Michelle Kang has filed.
Oh, the Central, was it combine the three together into one super club, like a playing all between. Yeah, I did see that. It did make me chuckle. It did. I mean, yeah, that did make me chuckle. I do have the
Olympic London City Spirit of Lyon.
It'll be the London Olympic Spirit. That's what it will be. It'll be the London Olympic
Spirit.
Yes,
London Olympic Spirit.
2012 all over.
I could get behind that as a team, even though I'd hate them. I could get behind that.
The shirt's been like, the Arsenal shirt.
Be the 2012 logo.
Yeah.
Imagine being the manager of that team, though, like just rotating players in and out. You're like, oh, we need a.
Well, you wouldn't even be manager of one team. You'd have a couple of weeks over here. You'd be like a student teacher when you've got to go on placement, right? Have 6 weeks there, and then try this team, and then go back and see what you've learned and apply it there. London City Lionesses.
Front two of Goodwin and Rodman as a front two. You could have with Danielle van der Donk in behind. The Vanessa Giles and whoever it is. Wendy Renard in defence next to Taya Goldie. It could work. We can make it work.
Great. I will say though, I am very impressed that Izzy Goodwin is still getting time, because I genuinely feared that she would be pushed out with all of these signings. So I'm happy. Yeah, speaking of signings though, Birmingham City and Freya Godfrey, yes, absolutely. Birmingham City have made 1, 2, 3, 4 permanent signings, and they've got 2 loan signings as well. So again, they're adding to their quality to. Well, they're planning ahead, aren't they, for the WSL?
We appear to be getting a house tour of Paul's house.
Sorry, yeah, because I went upstairs to. Because I went upstairs, and now I have to come downstairs because Kevin wants to go to bed. So
we're nearly done. We promise.
We're nearly there. Come on, we're nearly there. Wrap up. Let's get through. A few more games to go.
For Birmingham as well. What's signing?
Sorry, say that again, please, Paul.
Vilma Liedhammer.
Danny. Yes.
On a daily scoring.
Yes, have we got? Vilma Liedhammer from Norrköping. Yep.
Yeah. Was that
from
300,000? That was.
Yeah, it was definitely a club record free.
Is Norrköping what you get when Tesco's shut? Or is it?
Oh yeah.
Freya, where can we find all of these transfers if we want to keep up with them?
Indeed, yes.
Well, if you so wish.
Funny you mentioned that, Danny.
There must be somewhere we can go to.
There must be a place.
If you would like your transfer news from the WSL, WSL2, Liga FA and Serie A, just go to www.thewhole115yards.com, and it's right at the top of the page, and it's the winter transfer tracker. I do have most of them on there. I think there might be 1 or 2 that I've missed purely because some people don't put them on their websites, they only put them on Instagram, and some only do X, and you just think, streamline it. Or they've got a women's part of their website that's never been entered, there's no data, or it hasn't been updated since about 2019. Not very helpful. Or they put it in the men's bit, that's fun.
That's really under type of man, so I don't blame them for doing it.
I can't remember which website it was, but the transfer news wasn't under the women's bit, it was just under latest news.
Soccer Donna?
That's it. No, it wasn't. I think it was Atletico Madrid actually. Or Parma, one of the 2. And yeah, I was like, well, why isn't it there? Because that's women's news. But yeah, whole115yards.com, it's all there. I'm going to be doing another trawl through to make sure I haven't missed anything. But yeah, so literally anything. So contract extensions, first professional contracts, loans, return from loans, new managers, anything.
Tiny babies.
You think of.
Babies. It reminded me that a very, very good young defender has also joined Birmingham from Liverpool. Hannah Silcock is a talent.
Yeah, she for the rest of the season. Yeah. We've also got Jessie Gale, of course, has gone to Bristol City. Kelly Brady debuted for Palace at the weekend, I believe, from Athlone Town. And yeah, so I think, Ashanti Akpan gave away the penalty for Newcastle at the weekend. But yeah, no, Nottingham Forest as well have signed Joy Omewa from Fortuna Hjørring until the end of the season. So another striking forward, which would be really good. They've also got in Libby Smith and Rebecca Dowsett as well on loan. Portsmouth with one, Sheffield with one, Southampton with one, Sunderland with no one. Mel Ray did say they were looking to bring one in.
Oh.
Was that Storm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been snoring asleep the whole time.
You just woke up.
Just woke up. You're not getting out the door shut. Sorry, man.
You might get a meow shortly as well because Nancy's her ears are pricked up.
So yeah, so they are all on that transfer. But yeah, you can tell which team's really going for it. But yeah, Mel Ray says they're hoping to bring one in. So that's fun. Just the one. But yeah, right. Last thing really then. Predictions for the weekend. Anything there that stands out?
6-pointer between Durham and Portsmouth. Longest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Away trips. But yeah, that's a
Yeah,
6.
that's a massive one, isn't it?
Well, given that Sheffield United are 9th and Charlton are high flying the top and unbeaten, I'm going to go 1-0 Sheffield United. And go, oh, where'd that come from?
I was going to say, I think Graham might not be your friend anymore, Adam. After
I want Charlton to win. I want
Good
Charlton
shout.
to win, but I'm just thinking you're on about the unbeaten run thing. There's always, when you get the losing unbeaten run, it's always to the team you least suspect. There's always the banana skin, and especially when we get in the tail end. I'm just thinking it's going to be like when we lost 2-0 to Birmingham City at St Andrews. It's like, well, how did that happen? They're bottom of the table, and we're like what? So I'm wondering if something stupid might happen there. But I hope Charlton
two
win.
centre backs as well, wasn't it? Louise Quinn who got both goals.
No, Lucy Quinn, I think it was.
Lucy
There was
Quinn.
Lucy Quinn, and then there was Lucy Quinn and somebody else who doesn't have a Wikipedia page. But yeah, it was someone. But it was a disastrous game and cost us the league. I fully expect Charlton to get promoted, and I fully expect them to beat this one. But if I was going to chuck a sneaky reversal on there. Newcastle 2, Ipswich 0, Birmingham City 3, Forest 1, Durham 1 with Portsmouth, Bristol City 1. 2 Sunderland. I think Bristol are going to flounder a bit, so I'm going to go for Sunderland to take some points off them.
Well, you know what? We said during the FA Cup watch log that we were getting reports that Sunderland were playing really well, and they've took that into this last game. So hoping that a bit of form, especially if Bristol are having a wobble, then it would be perfect.
All that edging, it's going to do him doing the work.
I do think Sunderland will just. Mel Ray will have Sunderland pull away from any issue.
Honestly, even if it's just a point at this point, it's a point.
Hey,
to just keep getting out of that. Hey,
the points mean
means you got more chance of losing your driving license. That's what my experience has been. But,
is that a cheeky Saturday evening game? That one. Bristol City Sunderland?
Yes. Have you noticed they've started doing a Saturday evening one? Because Portsmouth, Birmingham was Saturday evening.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like that. As well.
There was one on a Friday, I think. I want to say a couple of weeks ago as well.
Sunderland, Sheffield the week after is on the Friday. So yeah, they are diversifying some of their fixtures.
Because they can't do WSL ones because you have the 5:30 Premier League kickoff now, don't you? So people are worried that.
Bloody men's football, ruining
ruins it for everyone.
Watch it. Wouldn't it be really funny if Ipswich beat Newcastle?
I think wouldn't it be funny in general if Ipswich won? I think that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, where are they at the moment? They have one win all season. I mean, I look at that table. I just think, I know they've got the game in hand, but the game in hand's against Charlton. So I'm just looking at Ipswich and thinking, I think that tractor's going down the ditch. I think that's.
It's where are they going to pick points up at this point? So,
I feel sorry for them because they're now technically my local team this year because I've been staying up by their ground the last few days up at Portman Road. So sorry Ipswich, but I think it's back to the National League for you.
I think that there are some twists and turns in the relegation battle yet now.
I hope they are because that makes it more exciting.
I hope we go down to a last day when there's maybe not the title, but definitely the second and third or the second promotion.
You're on about a last day of season watch long. It's not going to be for Tottenham Birmingham. It's going to be for the Durham Ports of Ipswich Town, and it's going to be all of us on one game each going around, and then Paul be slapping his desk, going, "Oh, Newcastle conceded a third. They're going down. This is unbelievable."
Gareth Taylor,
how sad.
Yeah. Oh, my heart bleeds for them. So it's
celebrate with the party hat on.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be such a good day, because you're right. It'll be probably not watching the top, but it's going to be watching everything else that goes there. But yeah, I can't wait.
Just shout out to Graham. Thanks for letting me know, because I wasn't aware they play at Colchester. So they actually play outside their own county. So despite Ipswich being a Suffolk team, they play in Essex, which funny enough, I drove past on the way up to Ipswich. So yeah, I do pass by that ground. It's a very weird arrangement, but yeah.
I know it's bizarre, isn't it? Where some teams actually play compared to where they are. Yeah, I mean, all go up the valley for a day trip. Sounds
yes,
good.
absolutely.
Sounds good. Danny, did you want to give a shout out to Northampton Town?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, we had a relegation battle against the Lincoln Massive on the Sunday. It was one of those proper scrappy games. So I went along to the Fernie Fields, to go and see that. Much needed win. It was one of those games where you were just peppering the goal, and the Lincoln goalkeeper Chloe Gray, I want to say her name is, Susan per performance, to keep us out. But then we got one that it looked like it might have gone out on the goal line, so we've crossed it in, and then our player Alex Dix, who's just come back from injury, smashed it in for 1-0 with 5 minutes left in a relegation battle. And it's scenes for the 150 people who were there. There were 10 scenes, but much needed win. And we've got another one this week against Kidderminster as well. We're used to kind of fighting at the other end of the table last year, but loads of stuff has happened. Lots of players left, all sorts of happened. So we just need to stay up now this season, and hopefully we can get that win on Sunday as well.
Well, Lincoln probably will be going down because they're an absolute mess.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like you say that, they did look decent enough, and I think this is where the women's game has come on now. We're looking at the fourth tier, the bottom club who've only got a point all season. Actually, they looked pretty decent, and they look well organised. Like this is the level that we're at now. Is that the team that are getting beat every week and all that kind of stuff? Actually, they're okay. Like they're not kind of a whipping team.
This Lincoln side, is this Lincoln City or Lincoln?
This is Lincoln United women. I think we're on track to call them. I think
because I know there's a Lincoln City that went on
there's a Lincoln City and a United.
Yeah, there's Lincoln City, there's Lincoln United, and there's a Lincoln that went on a journey to Nottingham Forest and never came back. To Nottingham to play for Notts County and never came back.
County. Yes. Notts County. Yeah, so there's all that going on, but now there's also, they want to merge the two teams to become Lincoln Women.
Which is what the original. Well, that's the thing. The original Lincoln Women was not a city because it became Lincoln on its own.
Yes.
It was an independent club. It wasn't part of the City or the United, although it was owned by an ex-director from one of the Lincoln clubs, I think it was, and then he took it to Nottingham. So this is they're going to take. So the women's team is currently with Lincoln City, or there's one with City and one with United, and they combine into one super team.
So United is in the 4th division.
Yeah.
United's in the 4th division. City are in the 5th, and then there's the reserves as well. So what they're essentially doing is the pathway now is going to be reserves, City, United, but it's under the umbrella of Lincoln Women. I think they didn't explain it very well. So there's a lot of fans going, well, we know we followed City, we followed United. Like, where do we stand now? Because what they also did with their social media channels, just really quickly, they stopped posting on their channels, said, right, all follow Lincoln Women, and then stopped posting on there. And it's really inconsistent. And you're just like, you're trying to build a fan base here, and they've got no information. And
imagine saying like Arsenal and Spurs, we're going to combine together to become one super North London club. I mean, you'd be furious. I'd be furious if my local team say we're going to couple up like Millwall and Charlton, put away as far as our differences, or Charlton and London City Lionesses, put aside your differences. You're going to merge together, and become one Charlton Lioness team. Never go down well. It'd be
become
awful.
The North London Courage or something like that.
The North London Cannons, or if we take the Spurs animal, it'll be the North London Cock. But I don't think that'll go down that well. So,
Oh, but yeah, it's just it's all a mess. So yeah, if I do ever get any more details, I will happily share
Oh yeah,
them.
it sounds very interesting.
Yeah,
very very interesting.
it's
I've seen
a
something
mess
before,
at the minute.
but
But yeah, they are on the table in Division 1 Midlands, and it looks like they're gonna join their other team in Tier 5.
Would you, before we go, would you like a quick Portland Cherry Bombs update?
Yes.
Yes.
Portland
Cherry Bombs.
Portland Cherry Bombs.
This is a
Cherry
team
Bombs,
that we adopted when they were announced because they're a kind of mashup of football and the Riot Girls scene of music. So we really got on board. We loved all the stuff they're doing.
Did they have a bad reputation?
Well played.
Very good. Very good. They've got a new head coach in charge now. So Janine Sparrow, who played a few games in goal for the USA as a player.
Ooh.
Very experienced. She's from the Portland, well, not from the Portland area, but she's quite heavily involved in the Portland area over the last few years. So she's in charge. They've got their social media still going. I thought I'd have a quick check up on them before the season started. Looking good. I'm very excited.
All of
There's a
their
team
merch
based in
looks so
Portland.
cool as well.
If we watch them well, there'll be football nirvana.
No.
I had to match Adam.
You got it. Yeah, you got it. You couldn't let me. You couldn't leave without having one back on me for that one. You couldn't. As a metal head, you had to have it'd be ill of me you not to do one.
Wow.
I was inspired.
I was just going to say, I hope they run away with the league.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you very much. I'm the one too. Yes. But we will wrap it up there tonight. We knew it was going to be a long one because we had so much to talk about and so many people that we wanted to involve in the conversation as well. So thank you so much for sticking with us, everyone. You've been absolutely incredible in the chat as per usual. We will be back next Wednesday, of course, where the transfer window will be officially closed, and we'll have so many more results to bring you from the league, and hopefully Arsenal will have won another trophy. So thank you for joining us, everyone, and we'll see you again.
I'm going to have to acknowledge Arsenal as world champions.
I know. Yes. Well, don't worry.
So if anything else, join back in for that.
If Coventry get promoted, I'll have to acknowledge them as a Premier League team. So swings and roundabouts.
We are, as they say, we are a proper Barclays team.
Absolutely.
Proper indeed. So we will end it there. So thank you very much, and we'll bring you all the latest news next week. Good night, everyone.